Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a very quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Thomas van der Zander, Cannabear, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Mr. Amish, Sensual Goat, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Todd Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Males 24, Unamento, Iron 26, Endless, Goldie McKinnon, Retro Bill, Level Playing Poem, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Mac 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
I thought that's what it was meaning, but like, really not.
See Brian's latest video?
I did. I watched all of it for a change.
Did you read the comments? I mean, freaking Flat Earth Math guy? That's what's his name, right?
Flat Earth Math is Charles.
Right. He wrote 4 paragraphs.
Of course he did. Black Swan. That's all I needed to say. Good video, eh?
Yeah.
How's that geometric horizon working out for you, lads? Good? Good?
Then there's another guy saying Brian needs to give the measurements of Wyoming. It's forced. Let me read it exactly the way he said it.
Hope he joins. Like relatively early. Drop him a message, Neil. Got there and it had something like, I don't know, it was less than 100 views and it had like something like 160 comments. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I added a bit of fuel to that fire, Neil. I just went in and asked a few of them how their geometric horizon was working out. And put my little shush emoji and wrote Black Swan. That was about it, really. It hasn't, from our side, it has no need for 5 paragraphs, does it?
It's very easy now, that's for sure.
It is and it isn't, right? Because after watching that video that Brian's just released in the last 12 hours, right? I now understand his frustration more than ever because he's overcoming every single part of their claim that they've put to him in terms of how they say it works on a globe, and it is really complicated. I mean, obviously he's got to understand that to pick out the flaw, so I can come along after and go, ha ha ha, ha Black Swan, 5 paragraphs. No, lads, no, you don't have a geometric horizon. Sorry, it was game over in 2020. Yeah, you're still not getting it. And it's taking Brian to really break it down for you, and it's really painful. But that means he's got to go through the tedium of actually breaking it down. Now, I haven't got the patience for that. Obviously, Brian has. I've barely got the patience to listen to him explaining it after he's done it. You know what I mean? But kudos to him. Epic stuff. To have the patience to do. I don't know how he does it, honestly.
Sometimes the best you can do is just laugh at them, like, because they won't get it. You know, so that's usually what I do. I usually end up just like laughing at them and making fun of them because they're just so stubborn.
Yeah, but more and more through 2024, they're finding themselves caught between a rock and a hard place, Do we decry assertion of the geometric horizon based on the black swan image? Or do we plough on using a geometric horizon we haven't got? Because that's how it works. It's like, you're screwed either way, guys. The world's not spherical. Hello? You can fight it all you like with your 5 paragraphs. It's going to change a thing.
That was very apparent when Danny Faulkner wouldn't talk about measurements.
Yeah, agreed.
And those, oh my gosh, those minutes of silence, that was epic, that whole thing.
I had to edit it all out. As much as it's very telling, it didn't make a good short video, that's for sure. I think it went, I think I cut it over, it got reduced by half by editing out those pauses. So for every back and forth exchange, that might have been 10 seconds, 20 seconds of sentence from one or other of them, there was a 20 to 30 second protracted silence for every single point, wasn't there?
Oh, at least, if not minutes. Yeah, it was Danny trying to figure out, how do I answer this without talking about a measurement?
It's nuts, isn't it, where they find themselves?
Very interesting. But they know, Danny knows. He knows.
Maybe.
I found the comment.
Let's hear it then.
This is funny. Brian, what I would love for you to do is address the lengths of the 4 sides of the state of Wyoming. Sides run north-south, and the other 2 run east-west. They all meet at 90 degrees. So please explain the 4 lengths of the sides.
They're on a flat plane.
My God.
Those distances are on a horizontal plane.
Just don't work on a globe, buddy. All 4 sides of that state of Wyoming are based on a flat plane. That's the only way you're going to measure them.
Correct.
They all meet at 90 degrees. So Brian said, so no addressing of the video then. Just a red herring. Yeah, he gets a lot of comments, Brian.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's getting under their skin.
Dare I ask if there's something that we should be covering today? Mush isn't here, so
I haven't seen anything pertinent that should be addressed offhand.
I mean, I'm happy to chit chat like we did yesterday. There's a bit of background rumblings going on, which may or may not make it to the surface of today's live show. It'll be interesting. It's one of those where I don't really care particularly about what's going on around me, to the point where people are literally pushing me around to do things which I'm reluctantly, to an extent, doing, because they've got something going on, and I'm like, you want me to do what? Yeah, fine. An hour later, it's still not getting done, sort of thing. Annoying. But like I say, this I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to inadvertently bring this to the surface. As I say, I've got no particular interest in this anymore. But yeah, Brian and Adam, we'll see. What do you reckon, Neil? You were there yesterday, weren't you? After the show.
Yes, I was there for the letter.
I give it 24 hours before this bursts its seams. What do you reckon?
I think it's going to be a little quicker than that.
Oh,
well, I hope it's good news.
I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's certain aspects that we've already talked about that I'll talk about now, which is to say I have divorced myself from what I thought was the flat Earth community, and apologised for that based on the fact that the mainstream has got a lot of feast and nonsense for them to dive into and regurgitate, and we've kind of evolved beyond that. So we are, although flat earthers, in the truest sense of the word, not really part of the flat earth community. Then you find out that what you think is the flat earth community isn't actually the flat earth community at all. It's a different community that's taking advantage of the public's interest in flat earth so that they can tell them about other things that aren't that. Well, that means that, from my point of view, we aren't divorced from a group that we thought we were integral to. We're actually divorced from a group that we've got no interest in whatsoever. So, in the one hand, that's a bit of a shock, but it kind of puts a bit more responsibility on our shoulders that wasn't there before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Overall, it is a good thing to stay away from the people that we don't align with.
Yeah, stooges who have been, peddling their involvement in a group that they aren't really involved in. So that would be Flat Earth, which is good. Like I say, it means we can sort of step back into something that we previously thought we'd been edged out of. It's like, well, actually, no, we've been edged out of people using the name of Flat Earth, but just not for Flat Earth. Well, as that's pretty
They did
much
it
what we do.
themselves.
Pardon?
They did it themselves. They decided to go True Earth, and I'm more the happier.
Sure, but True Earth isn't Flat Earth, so being divorced from True Earth, I don't care. I never was a True Earther, so the fact that these people are fraudulently peddling the notion that they're Flat Earthers when they never talk about it, can't even admit to being in, understanding that it is flat. When you've got those things going on around you, like, well, okay, do I care? Then I'm not part of that group. They were never actually Flat Earthers to begin with, it seems.
That's correct. And it's evidenced by what they talk about. Constantly going to ether. You give Dave a little more time on that interview, and he would have got into that ether.
But that makes me care even less. It's like, when he's an ambassador for my subject, then I care. How he presents himself and what he talks about, and I'm very passionate about it. Now, I couldn't give a crap. It's like saying, well, this person was talking about ghosts. I don't care. That person was talking about incoherent dielectric acceleration. I don't care. But when you say that person was talking about incoherent dielectric acceleration and they called themselves a flat earther, now I'll go, why? You need to label yourself correctly, so you're a true earther. You don't actually give a toss about flat earth. But people are interested in that, so you've started putting that in your subject matters title so that people will find you when they search for the subject. And then you'll waffle on about incoherent dielectric acceleration. It's like, don't missell what you've got to sell. Label it correctly. Don't steal from another community that people have got an interest in just because you've got something ancillary that you want to peddle.
Yeah, but it's still going to affect us, Nathan, because people are still going to see them as flat earthers.
But they're not, and they've at least started to admit that they're not. So, that's something we can call, isn't it? Like, why are you interviewing this person who says he's a flat earther when he's admitted he isn't? He's only there because there's an interest, your interest. But did he talk to you about that subject? No, he did not. Why don't you talk to somebody who's actually studying that subject? If you want to talk about flat earth, talk to a flat earther, not somebody who just goes around pretending to be a flat earther so they can pique your interest and talk about something else.
Yeah, we got to knock down that wall. It's a deliberate thing that they're not talking to people like us.
Well, it's an easy ride if you've got a stooge, isn't it? If you've got a stooge that's going to do nothing but talk about globe all day, that's a wonderful person to have debate flat earth with you. Waffle about the globe all day. I mean, admittedly saying it doesn't work, but it's the same principle as talking about NASA. We spotted it for NASA ages ago, didn't we? So long as you're arguing about whether rockets will work in a sky vacuum, you're not identifying the fact that there is no sky vacuum. As long as you're talking about how the globe Earth won't work in a heliocentric motion, you're still talking about the fact that there's a heliocentric motion that can or cannot work. So it works exactly the same as NASA. They're just as effective. But, you know, ultimately, they've become stooges. They're not peddling flat Earth. We peddle flat Earth.
Because we're flat earthers.
It frustrates me when Witsit and Dave don't talk about measuring flat Earth. Why do they not do that?
Because they're not flat earthers.
So they want to talk about measuring
See,
the
we talk about
Michelson-Morley.
what we are.
What do they talk about measuring? They talk about measuring the Michelson-Morley, don't they? Fringe patterns and...
Yeah.
That's what they talk about. Right? Because that's what they talk about. Is that talking about Earth? No. That's the point. So we can start pointing that out. Next time they do an interview, look, this person self-confessed not to be a flat earther. He says he's flat Earth, Dave. But it's like saying, I'm Mercedes Dan. And then when you walk into the showroom, they've got nothing but BMWs. Like, I came from a Mercedes. Oh, Mercedes are wonderful. Let's talk about these BMWs.
That's a perfect analogy. I wouldn't say BMWs, though. I'd say you got a bunch of Dodge Darts.
Yep. But he's wearing a Mercedes t-shirt. He's got a Mercedes name tag, a Mercedes hat.
And you go in there and he's trying to sell you a Dodge.
And when asked, are Mercedes actually good? Because I've never driven one. I don't know. But I better not say that. Well, it's all a matter of, you know, statistics and surveys in terms of people's satisfaction with Mercedes. Well, are they good to drive? Well, it depends on your perspective. Driving experience is all, you know, a non-stop dodge. Why? Well, because he hasn't driven a Mercedes. He's just calling himself Mercedes Dan because he's got a lot of BMWs to sell. And people like Mercs better than Beamers. Anyway, all we can do is point out fraud when we see it. That's what we're doing.
I don't like that because the BMW is still a good car. They have nothing good to offer.
Yeah, but the point is that I'm sure the people inside the True Earth argument talking about free energy and incoherent dielectric acceleration and the new versions of gravity all think it's good too. Yeah? However, if you've got something that's headed Mercedes and the BMW engines are fantastic, they're just not Mercedes. Now, if Mercedes have won 5 championships and are winning every single race and everybody's searching for Mercedes, you're going to go, oh, well, I still want to sell my Beamers. So I'll call myself Mercedes Stan. And then when they get here, I'll talk about the Mercedes that we've got parked on the forecourt. But inside, there's nothing but Beamers. Better than having nobody. They thought they were coming to see Mercedes. They looked for Mercedes. They were searching for it, right? They're interested. They just won a load of championships. Unfortunately, no one's searching for BMW at the moment. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with BMW, but just it's not very popular. Nobody's looking for it. It's not piquing people's interest. It's not driving the search engines like Merc is. You know, Merc Dan's a much more effective way of flogging your Beamers, as strange as it may sound. I mean, it's also fraud, but I mean, you know, that's you know, who cares, right? But no, we'll be pointing that out when people interview non-flat earthers, people who decry it and can't even admit to Earth being flat. We'll go, why are you interviewing this person?
Thing is, he is a fraud. I hate to say that, but he hasn't changed he hasn't updated any of his information since like 2019.
He is a fraud.
He's still peddling the same junk, yeah.
Yeah, the people with the BMWs, they're calling Mercedes frauds. But they're the frauds.
Well,
Yes. Yes,
Nobody
it's-
wants the 2018 BMW. They want the 2024 BMW.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And Neil, it's
He's
exactly
not selling it.
Neil saying that when you get there, Mercedes Dan says, no, all of the technology in the Mercs is just crap. It's going to kill you. It's unsafe. BMW safety features are miles better. Let me tell you about the Ethereum safety features inside this Beamer.
The Mickelson-Morley features in the Beamer.
Yeah, it's got Mickelson-Morley brakes. It's got incoherent dielectric steering. Awesome.
And it's got a lot of counter space.
Oh, huge amounts. Got an entire filing cabinet in the back of that counter space. Meanwhile, Merc lie. They say they've done all this science and technology to make their cars better, and they just haven't. In fact, they're the frauds. They're scammers.
Ain't that some crap, huh? It's actually projection, too.
Yeah. Who else we got in Discord today? A1 Deck. Why don't you join the G Plus panel? I like being in Discord. He doesn't have to answer, so he can just disappear and not give a toss. That's why, isn't he? Feels more obliged.
No,
than-
he did join, but he was having problems with the sound.
Oh, was he? Yeah,
He
fair
wasn't.
I'll answer for you guys. Yeah, Discord is better.
I like that we've in the last 2 days literally developed some arbitrary rivalry between Discord and G Plus.
It's always better in the peanut gallery. I agree, Righteous.
It's just a way better app. I mean, it's just objective truth. Come on, guys.
Whatever.
Discord is like the new YouTube nowadays. Like everybody's getting on it. Even many YouTubers have their own Discord channels nowadays. So you guys gotta, jump in the wave or get left behind.
You know we're here now, right? We're in Discord.
Right.
They sell you data, right? All your messages are up for sale.
Everything online is.
Yeah.
And we're all online.
Known it since the day the internet existed. The whole idea of a digital footprint. I remember
Yep.
AOL Instant Messenger, and the guy who showed it me for the first time saying, you click on this little X, whew, and it's gone. I was like, nah. I'm not buying it. It's like, well, how do you keep it? Well, nah. I don't care. I don't care that I'm ignorant of it. I'm not going to assume that it can't be kept. And then what was it? Not a few mere years later, they were doing To Catch a Predator and showing them chat logs. They're just taking screenshots, obviously. So yeah, but back then everyone was sold. Oh, look at this AOL instant messaging feature, what we now call direct messaging or PMs. But the idea was you click on X and it's gone forever. Say what you like to a random stranger. Fun. So I was like, sod that, I'm going to use my real name. So you're mentally holding yourself accountable because your name's right next to what you're saying.
Okay. Well, the reason why something like Hangouts is not that popular is the same thing Guilded wasn't popular. People didn't like to have two apps. right? On Discord is like your all-in-one app, so to say. Everybody can go from one channel to another channel versus going from one app to another app. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to have as little apps as possible, so I feel that.
Right. Yeah, and you don't have to use a link every time to get on. You just turn it on and you're there. You see, you have to use another app actually to get on even Hangouts. You got to go through Skype. So you got to fire up your Skype, and then once you fire up the Skype, you got to hit the link, and then once you hit the link, you got to push more buttons, and now you're in Hangouts.
I'm a Philistine in most of this stuff. I don't really know how any of it works. I've got shortcut buttons that launch all of the programs I use for the show. And if something goes wrong, it'll take me minimum 20 minutes to sort it out.
Good job. But now you want to see what all the hubbub is out there online, and you're like, well, I need to go to the Discord channels for that, right? And then you start thinking, well, why don't I just stay on Discord then? Why do I gotta hop in between apps?
Ever thought that at all? I mean, it's a means to an end for me. It's a net for the show, isn't it? That's what it serves as for me.
Right, but I'm just showing you the perspective from people that are Discord users, right?
Yeah, it's just a platform for meeting people. It's no different to anything else. I mean, the way it's laid out and how it functions is great and all, but it's just like anything else. It's no different to Skype or G Plus or Gilded or you name it. They're all the same as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're not a Discord user. I can tell by the way you answered that you're not a Discord user.
No, I'm not. If I need to go into a different room, I need someone to send me the link, don't I? I need babying around Discord. I'll come into the room that I link to immediately when I press the button on my desk, and it appears with this list of people that are here now. That's it. I'm there, and it works. And it's connected. The sound's linked up. It passes through without feedback. I'm happy.
You can use a link
for anything else.
You can use a link, but you don't have to use a link. It just shows you how flexible Discord is. You can get onto another Discord place by a link or without a link if you already have the server on. Right. But yeah, Discord is like the next YouTube. Ever since I got on Discord, I basically forgot about YouTube. It's even bigger than YouTube. It's huge.
A broadcasting platform, though, is it?
Discord?
Yeah, you're not going to broadcast from Discord. It's not like YouTube in that regard.
But people do. People actually use like the FE247. They broadcast everything they talk on Discord.
Internally to Discord.
There's no way Discord's bigger than YouTube.
Yeah, but it's internally to Discord, isn't it?
Well, I said to me, just to answer that other guy's question, to me, it was bigger because they basically replaced it. Right. So to me personally, and to a lot of people stopped watching a lot of FE content in favor of discussing FE content live with people in Discord.
That's true. I don't watch FE content on YouTube anymore. I get it all here. I mean, that part's right. But, I mean...
All right. All right, well, I stand corrected too.
It's a weird thing to say. It's like saying Facebook will replace television. You go, oh, wow, that's just stupid. TV's watching pre-record or live broadcast material and Facebook's interacting socially on an internet platform. They're totally different. And then 10 years roll by and you go, check it out. Look what that person's sat glued to on their sofa. It isn't Coronation Street. So what are they looking at on their little tiny screen? Well, they're looking at Facebook. Oh, so effectively, Facebook has kind of replaced TV, as weird as it is to say. So I kind of get what you're driving at, even though it's not the same thing. You're saying, what do people engage with? And that boils down to the YouTube rule, right? What do YouTube want? Do they want you to watch content? No, they couldn't give a toss. Do they want you to leave a comment? No. Do they want you to leave a like? No, couldn't give a toss. What do they actually want? They want you to be on their website. That's it. That's all they want. They want you to be on their website for as long as humanly possible. Whatever you do on their website is irrelevant. As long as you're on their website, don't leave the website. That's all they want.
Well, I stand corrected. Then I could have phrased that a little bit better, but the gist of it came out. Thanks, Vaxi.
Wait, thanks for what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
About how I worded it that it replaced YouTube. I could have worded that better. Like you brought some extra context to that. Basically, replaced it in terms of FE content is the better
Well,
way I should have put it.
no, but that was a good point you made though, because like it dawned on me that is true. I'll watch the occasional taboo conspiracy thing if something interesting comes out, but every type of YouTube of FE content on YouTube is, well, this is why the globe doesn't work, and that's all it is now. But unless you're, and I don't listen to FED on YouTube because I'm here every day. So, although I'm still subscribed, I mean, I'll pop in sometimes if I'm like driving around or doing errands or working or something. I'll put it on YouTube, but I got a lot of free time, unfortunately.
Yeah, basically, Discord is your one and all app for everything, right? You can listen to Nathan's show. You can talk to other FE guys. It's all in one.
He's not listening, though. He's participating. Go ahead, Craig.
Hello, sorry. Yeah, just testing this mic. Is it working?
Yeah, sounds good.
Awesome. Just
Craig.
listening.
This
I'm
is
working.
Craig.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, hello. And we should use this opportunity to plug in Discord, Nathan. What say ye?
Plug
Join
in.
Discord is all the action is.
Well, you are plugging it. That's what you're effectively doing.
All right. Yeah.
I mean, the link's
Yeah,
there.
it's easy.
Nothing's changing.
Yeah. And you don't even have to install the app. You can just use your browser, your web browser, like Chrome or whatever you're using. I've switched to Brave, though, instead of using Chrome now. But yeah, you don't even have to install anything. Just click on the link and
Join the show.
bookmark it. Yeah, join the show. And if about talking on the show, you can get more familiar with talking with people off the air, right? Because I don't allow recording after Nathan's show finishes, so you guys can just all relax and talk comfortably and get used to talking with other FE guys.
Oh, I thought you were offering social therapy. You're talking about, it's kind of social therapy, but for Flat Earth.
Well, it is nice. It is nice to be able to talk to other FE people. It's kind of hard to find FE people outside of the online, right? So,
Hello, Nathan.
Hello.
Didn't normally get a hello, Nathan, but very nice. Yes, hello. Whoever that was.
That was me. That was Derek.
Very good. They've got a couple of new panel members who've been eking their way in since John's departure, which is all nice. Nevertheless, I'm sure you're all familiar with housekeeping questions, so we're going to do a couple. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There is no evidence whatsoever.
No way to measure that distance.
Or any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Isn't the deepest we've ever drilled supposedly 8 miles? No way to tell.
Well, that was easy. So we've got no video to cover today, as far as I'm aware, unless things have changed in the last 45 minutes. Did anybody have a video that they wanted us to cover today? No? Well, then we'll be talking to the audience and chatting amongst ourselves then, I guess. Shout out to Christian in the chat and Divergent Droid. Hope you're doing well. A fantastic moderation team in and of himself. Jim, good to see you. Please share the show.
Did you ever get a hold of?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Did you ever get a hold of that podcast, the Johnny Knoxville podcast that was mentioned yesterday?
The podcast where I was shouted out again by Eddie Bravo.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to listen to it in full. I got a chance to listen to one little section of a clip from it, and he's essentially saying that it sounds like he's responding to the Dave versus Whitsitt shenanigans and saying he'd have been better off debating Nathan because he'd have demolished him, which is the same sentiment he put out last time he spoke about me.
Let's see.
I'll dig it out. I do have the clip somewhere. Somebody trimmed it and yeah, so I've definitely got it. You're off mute still, just Bill. Yeah, I'll dig that out and I'll play it if I can find it. It seems like it's buried very deep in Master B, but we'll see if we can dig it out. I've been talking about this in the pre-show, so over the next, I don't know, I'm gonna put a time limit on it. Behind the scenes, there's some rumblings, some aggressive rumblings that I don't know how long the lid on the aggressive rumblings will last, so to speak. So Neil and I have put a kind of, Neil thinks it'll happen before the end of the day by the sound of things, but Brian and Adam are yet to join the show, obviously, and if they do, you might be in for some fireworks on the live stream with Adam going shush a lot. We'll see. But it's one of those, it's me looking in from the outside now, as a result of kind of Dave Weiss, actually, so maybe I should just talk about that. So in the last few years, we've been slowly divorcing ourselves from what we thought was the Flat Earth community, and it wasn't. It was the True Earth community that has sod all to do with Flat Earth. That's why we've been whinging about them so much, and potentially why they've been our enemies in the first place, because they don't stand with us as Flat Earthers, they're not. So it's kind of double-edged in the respect that, oh, right, so we hadn't actually divorced ourselves from the group that is known as Flat Earth by stereotype, that we've kind of demeaned because of their adherence to the Feast of Nonsense garbage that is out in the mainstream when talking about Flat Earth, rather than talking about Flat Earth, which is what we do. But when you find out that people who have opposed us seemingly on our own side were never actually on our own side and aren't actually Flat Earthers, you go, well, in realising that, you go, well, actually, that means the burden of responsibility does suddenly sit on our shoulders, rather than us being divorced from that community that we called Flat Earth, that we'd separated ourselves from and been shunned from. But it never was that group. It never actually was Flat Earth that we were being shunned from. You know what I mean? For wanting to talk about Flat Earth, we were getting shunned from a group that wasn't actually Flat Earth. They were just taking the good name of what people were searching for on the internet because Flat Earth interests them and selling them something else.
Like an app, maybe?
No, like going to get a Mercedes and they give you a Dodge Dart.
Yes.
So, what's the qualitative difference between this flat Earth and True Earth?
What's the qualitative difference between this Flat Earth insurance, is what I just heard.
No,
Flat Earth and True Earth.
True Earth. Yeah, Flat Earth and True Earth.
They're different words.
Well, ironically, true earthers don't seem to talk about truth. They usually don't have any evidence to back their claims.
Yeah, but I don't care. I mean, this is kind of what I was trying to get across in the pre-show, but I can't seem to figure the words to put across what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter anymore. It's like saying ghost hunters don't care about the nature of direction. You're like, no, they don't, do they? But who cares? It doesn't really have any bearing on us anymore. They're not really anything to do with us. It's outside of our category. That's the point. You're like, well, what do true earthers believe? Well, who cares? I don't care. I'm a flat earther. Do I give a toss what they think? Now, in terms of
Yes.
if they come here proactively, they are proactive, me reactive, and put their thoughts on what the nature of Earth is, on what is a nature of Earth debate. So, in Flat Earth debate, often we get Ethereans coming and putting their views, and we'll take them at face value and then pick them apart like we would any other nature of Earth claim. But beyond that, I don't care. I care as much about what a true earther thinks as I do a concave earther, or a globe earther for that matter. I don't care. Like, it's a kind of inconsequential. Now, globe earther gets the edge because more often than not, that is the predominant worldview. So you're going to get it put to you at nauseam, whether you like it or care about it or not. Know what I mean? But I don't have to care about True Earth, Ethereans. I don't have to care about them. Like, I don't have to care about concavers. Nobody's saying what are concavers thinking. And they are, like, if you want to say so, true earthers, loosely associated to the subject. But I see only that loose association as a hijacking of people's interest in something so they can sell them something else. What they actually sell them, I don't care. It's not what I sell. I'll focus on what I sell. I sell flat earth. That's it. Flat earth here.
Yeah, but we're still lumped in with them until they're totally separated from us. People still see them as part of us, flat earth. So unless they change their name to True Earthers, we're just going to be stuck in here with them.
Well, they have, when push comes to shove, like with David Weiss. Well, I'd call myself a true earther. Well, why are you calling yourself a flat earther then? Well, because people are searching for flat earth is the honest answer that they'll never actually say. Well, from this point forth, we can call the interviewer on it when they start interviewing a stooge. It's like, have you picked Dave because he's an easy target because he's not actually a flat earther? Because he's admitted that. He's actually here to punt something out. When push comes to shove, go and check out Jesse's show. We'll play it to you in little short clips, if you like, of Dave decrying this community and in favour of a different community that isn't getting the clicks and views and searches that Flat Earth is, so he's just used that name. Now that's really obvious, painfully obvious to somebody who thought he was worthy of a follow for Flat Earth information, because when it came to being just simply asked if he understood and knew that Earth was flat, he couldn't answer. Couldn't give an answer. Postulated that Earth could be a ball. So at that point, you're like, well, he's definitely not representing me anymore. You know, I don't have to concern myself with saying, do a better job, Flat Earth Dave. It's like, he's not Flat Earth Dave. No person with Flat Earth in their name can say it could be a big ball. No, it couldn't. It's flat. That's how it's measured. Now, I, as a Flat Earther, would tell my audience that because that's how the world is in terms of how we deal with it. And I'm going to base my declarations based on how we've dealt with Earth, measured Earth, navigate Earth, mapped Earth, built on Earth. Those are the things I'll base it on. Not spend 20 attempts of dodging a question of if I know it's flat or not. I do. Do I have something else that I need to peddle? No, I don't. I don't have any ether to peddle, I'm afraid. But they do, so they want to hijack what little scraps of remnants of searches that we get as Flat Earthers to peddle something that isn't even Flat Earth by their own admission now. So there's no ambiguity anymore. Don't need him to be a better ambassador. He's not our ambassador. And if you're concerned that I'm saying Flat Earth Dave's not a Flat Earther, he's telling you that. He's told you it could be a big ball. All right, isn't that where you were trying to get away from? Isn't that his old shtick? It's not a ball. Yeah, these double-speaking pretender clown frauds will deceive you. Dave's one of them. He's no longer our ambassador if he says it could be a ball. It's just that simple. Ball isn't flat. So yeah, so I made that decision last night after listening to what potentially might boil over on today's live show, depending on who joins. My consideration for whether or not people will get it in the neck from here on forward if they do start interviewing Dave as a Flat Earther, simply because he's got it in his name. When he's not. A couple of people came in yesterday who were a little bit defensive about Dave. Like, oh, maybe he's just this and maybe he's just that. And it's like, no, you take people at their word. He's saying he's not. That's it. Don't need anything else. I don't need to do anything other than take what he said at face value. Right, do you want to hear this clip?
Let's hear it.
See that myself.
Yeah, Nathan Oakley and versus Professor Dave is what I want to see. Nobody can beat Nathan Oakley. He demolishes everybody. The fact.
There you go. That's about as much as the clip they had to offer, but someone's just gone and picked the specific bit where he says the same sentiment as he said last time about me. Eddie Bravo, those. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks for the shout out. I need to get his email address, actually. I need to contact him about something. This gives me an excuse to actually get in touch with him. So I'll drop him a line.
Technically, though, Nathan, David Weiss came highly recommended.
Did he? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's what the guy said.
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson's like, he said something to the effect of like, well, you came highly recommended, but you can't even tell me the Earth is flat or something like that. I'm like, yeah, I don't know.
Correct.
Yeah, people need to start making better recommendations then, don't they?
He gets the most attention on YouTube, him and Jaron, and what's it?
Yeah, what are you going to do? I mean, we can only peddle what we actually peddle and watch them use our good name. That's all we can do. Point out when it's not Flat Earth that's being discussed, which in the case of Dave, it isn't anymore, by his own words. You know, he's the one that's excluded himself from this community by virtue of his interview with Jesse. So at this point, like I say, I don't need to care about him being a good ambassador anymore. I'll just moan at the interviewers. Why are you interviewing this man? He's not a flat earther. He's admitted that. He doesn't represent us. When he says he does, he's a fraud. He's here to punt something out. He's got ulterior motives. Jesse's exposed him. Here's the clip. What more do you want? Why are you still interviewing him? And just moan at them. Make better recommendations of actual flat earthers that could discuss the subject, that do actually talk about flat earth. "74 people watching. Please share the show. Smash that share button. Typically, I'd be sending you to someone else's video right about now and helping them in the algorithmic love. But if you're amongst the 75 people odd watching the live stream right now, please hit that share button." Where do you think this is going to go, Neil?
The problem is, Nathan, hold on. The problem is they're selling dreams and we're selling reality. People don't want reality. They want dreams. That's why they're getting all the attention. They got this dream of ether and free energy and this hippy-dippy stuff. We don't peddle that. We peddle reality, and Earth is measured flat. Case closed.
I think it's more the replacement value. They've got various different aspects of the rhetoric that replace current existing rhetoric in heliocentrism that we would turn around and shrug our shoulders and go, I don't know, because we don't. And people are like, well, that's not satisfactory. I need a new paradigm now. What else is around? And then they find the next guru. You're like, oh, well, having good discernment doesn't come with finding out that Earth is flat, does it? And I don't know if it's something you can teach either. Can you teach good discernment?
Can you teach not coping, I guess?
Not
No,
coping.
good discernment is a God-given gift. Everybody has it. Just got to tap into it.
So you reckon? What are you saying? You're saying that the shell shock of finding out that it's not the world you thought it was is enough to overwhelm people? Is that what you're suggesting, Derek?
I'm suggesting that they have to have an explanation, because pretty much what you were saying, that you know, they have to have an explanation that replaces it to cope, to accept reality. And you know, if they don't get it, they won't accept reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they need a replacement. I mean, I've seen it for the last 10 years. My reaction's different to everybody else's. Well, 90% of people's reaction to this, where they suddenly recoil because they don't know things that they thought they knew, and then go scratting around trying to find either. The worst of it is when they do it for the original liar. All right, NASA have lied to us about the sky vacuum. What is the sky, NASA? What are you doing? What are you doing? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Number one, they've lied to you. Now you turn your back and walk away. You know, they'll just lie to you again. That's it. Number two, they appeal to other gurus. What's the sky then? Well, there's an incoherent dielectric accelerative background medium. Oh, really? How interesting. That satisfies that need. Or they get what we peddle, which isn't very desirable, is it? What's the sky? No idea. I mean, I can tell you roughly how high we go if I accept this information. Some of it's a bit questionable. Most of it, if not all of it's describing a flat Earth, though. Yeah? See how it's describing a flat Earth? No. What's the sky? Dunno. Just now we've measured the ground with respect to the lights in it, and it's all flat, parallel with the sky. Check it out. You could turn it into like a protractor view called the celestial sphere that turned into the globe eventually. Yeah, but what is it now? I don't know. But that's not very sexy. No, it isn't, is it? I think it's wonderful. How amazing. I might be the one to find out. But no, I don't know. I mean, you could lean on biblical renditions of what God created in Genesis. You can lean on all sorts of different things. The reality is, in terms of what I know, it's very little. And where I formerly had explanations, the need to bullshit about what they have said things are explained with isn't necessitated for me to replace. Does it mean that they knew and had to hide it? You can't divine their motivation. They're liars. They'll just lie to you again. So then you have to kind of divorce yourself from that way of thinking. Why would they lie? Do they know the truth? If I asked them, would they tell me? You don't know. That's the reality. That's all you can concern yourself with. Right here, right now, you don't know what the sky is. You've no idea why it's blue. You've no idea why the darkness comes. You don't know what the stars are. You have no idea, and neither do I. That's the reality. It's just not very sexy. Especially when you had a really fantastical, farcical, ludicrous idea that there was an area of volume you could travel through in a spaceship to other worlds, where there'd be soil and resources, when every little bit of our previously documented history shows us travelling out towards the horizon and literally finding new worlds with resources. Flat. But there we go. Replacing that is obviously of paramount importance, not knowing why it's blue and blah, blah, blah. People need that for some reason. Me, I'm like, wow, we don't know. Wow, it's like being 5 years old again. But we don't know. You know, and there's lots of things like that we don't know. What's below us? Don't know. I know how far we dug. That's about it. Got covered in the housekeeping section. That's about it. So, it's pretty sad that our actual knowledge and knowing and understanding of how the world physically works and is really limited. And I say it with a smile. Some people, it terrifies them because it was all wrapped up in a nice little ball, wasn't it? We knew it all. There's nothing else to know. Just need to research and maybe adapt some of the explanations that we have. In reality, we don't know anything. We're so ignorant, it's untrue. But that's not sexy. I know what I can tell you. Incoherent dielectric acceleration. Now with a sexy voice on, that does sound pretty amazing, does it not?
They claim they can measure that, Nathan.
Ooh, that sounds sexy. Is it with a man-made experiment?
Millions of measurements.
Of man-made experiments.
Michelson-Morley.
Ah, the MMA. If we just initialize it rather than saying Michelson-Morley experiment, which it isn't, people won't pick up on the fact that we're talking about a load of pseudoscience. Thousands of pseudoscience measurements. Wow. Anyway, enough moaning about true Earth. It's just not flat Earth, and we can put a punctuation mark in the timeline now about that. We all thought we were divorcing ourselves from a feast of nonsense garbage known as flat Earth. So we said we weren't that, but we had to continue saying we were flat earthers because we were. But we just weren't that flat Earth. Then we found out that flat Earth isn't flat Earth, it's true Earth. Some questioned what true Earth was. Me, I didn't give a toss from that point forward. What's that? They're not us. So we are flat Earth because that's what we talk about. They aren't. That's why we were moaning at them, because they weren't doing a good job of representing flat Earth. They weren't flat Earth. No need to moan at them anymore. Just bugger off and go and see if you can generate interest in true Earth. It's just not this. It's not flat Earth. Now, if you want to talk about flat Earth, obviously everybody can talk about whatever the hell they like. And if you're going to talk about flat Earth, just talk about flat Earth. And if you don't, you'll get moaned at. especially when you're not a flat earther, peddling the idea that you are to talk about something that isn't that. That's how it is now. Thanks, Dave.
Well, the thing is, hold on.
Sorry.
The thing is, in 2015, when this thing really took off, everything was about flat Earth. We're still about flat Earth, and we become public enemy number one to everybody because we pull out a silver bullet, what everybody was waiting for, and we start shooting it, and we're public enemy number one. Something weird going on here.
That's how you know when you're on target.
88 people watching. Please share the show on Facebook and Twitter if you've not done so already. There's a good chance there's only 88 people watching, or 92 watching now. Perfect timing. Because people share the show. So thank you very much. If you've just joined us, because it suddenly jumped up to 92 people, a very warm welcome to you. Please share the show. You're probably only here because you saw a link posted to you by someone who shared it. We definitely don't get any YouTube algorithmic love. So in today's case, we're not sending links and inviting people to join by way of sending them some algorithmic love, but it'd be nice if you did it for me today. Very selfish. Please share the show. Reckon we'll get Brian or Adam joining during the live show? They normally join
I sent
just
them a
after
message.
and then moan about what we didn't talk about on it.
I sent Brian a message. He still has not joined?
Fair enough. There's a QE live stream today. I could plug that, couldn't I? So Be Here or Be Sphere on the Quantum Eraser YouTube channel. 7 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. Central, I believe. Something around that time. Anyway, Be Here or Be Sphere. He's going to be covering Witsit, I think, with his debate with Dave, host of YouTube channel Professor Dave Explains. That's what he's covering tonight.
I've seen a bit of that one.
Say again, Mondeck.
I think I said. Sorry, I was just saying about that. We were saying like they talk about everything except for flat Earth, and Dave's describing how it could be a big globe. I did watch a little bit of the Witsit one with Professor Dave, and they got on. Professor Dave was challenged him with why everything goes down, and instead of getting into the gas pressure expanding into any available space and that argument, he starts talking about the magnetic bloody electrostatic Earth and all this, so they're not getting into the arguments and getting in there like we do. They're just talking about
One deck, they're true earthers. They're getting into the true earth argument.
We're the real flat earthers, aren't we? That's what we are, the real flat earthers.
Yeah, they're talking about true earth stuff. You see, in true earth, you have this incoherent dielectric acceleration, and that explains the down. So, and then relative density takes over from there. So you don't need gravity. This is our gravity.
Yeah, it doesn't need replacing when there's no naturally observed phenomena to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything does go down, does it, Professor Dave?
I don't like real Effie. I did think about it though. One deck in a sentence, it's fine, but in terms of a title, it's like, do you know, we were almost talking about a steak, a really good steak.
Yeah,
it's a bit like that, isn't it? You don't need to call it the real sirloin. It's a sirloin.
Yeah, we're flat earthers.
We're flat earthers, exactly.
The name says it for you.
Yeah, I mean, in years gone by, I've had people from the opposing side say he's not a real flat earther to me and various other people in this community. He's not a real flat earther. He's having us on. They're like, okay, so you want to take it to detach it with one word, but that word not real. Okay. No, you don't. You don't have to appreciate what I say. You just have to listen to the arguments that we put forth. Yeah, which strictly speaking aren't arguments anymore. I mean, I'm phrasing it in years gone by. Now it's not the case that you need to listen to our arguments. We'll state the facts of the matter here. There is no argument. Earth's measured flat.
Exactly. What argument are you talking about? Because I thought celestial navigation was a process that proves Earth is flat.
I'm talking about in years gone by when people have accused me of not being a real flat earther. Well, he's not really a flat earther. You're like, what? So me saying I'm a flat earther. But now, it's actually very, very poignant when you think about it. maybe they were right back in the day when I said, yeah, I didn't have my silver bullet. I knew Earth was flat. I'm pretty sure if I was asked if Earth was flat, I'd have just said yes. But nevertheless, you know, you doubt your ability to educate with the silver bullet that's going to be concise when you're in a debate structure and you're going to get chanted through if you take more than 10 seconds and all that stuff. So, you know, I was looking for a different type of standard to educate people on how Earth is flat. And I didn't necessarily have that standard. Notice my new phraseology so I don't trigger people. Back in the day. Didn't mean I didn't know the Earth was flat when people claimed I was pretending to be a flat earther. And even to this day, people will say two different contradicting things. They'll say, flat Earth's dying. They'll also say, you're only talking about flat Earth because you want to make money off it. You're like, which is it?
Now, the reason why they said you were not a real flat earther was because of that conversation you had with freaking Sleeping Warrior. That was the first thing somebody sent.
That's the second time I've done it, accidentally hit my mouse. Whoops. There's a button on my mouse that I'm going to have to change the mapping of because it's when I press it, it detaches me from the Hangout.
They'll just say it's a globe proof.
Whoops, I just detached myself from the Hangout accidentally. Sorry about
Thing is, as well, you know, we are actually just talking about flat Earth and how it's measured, you know, obviously more and more. And that's the point. I'm finding myself doing it when I'm talking to people. I won't even go to the lights in the sky, gravity, anything else. We're talking about Earth measurement or Earth curvature measurement, lack of, and, you know, celestial navigation, latitude. We're getting on the ground. And obviously, Nathan, you're doing that and full-heartedly, and we all are. But it's like, I've noticed listening to you, I can probably go back, I don't know, say 6 months. One of the main phrases and thing you was going into was the black swan. 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. You was using that a hell of a lot. I've not heard you use that for a long time now.
I don't think I follow. I often point that out, don't I? I often use their maths. Do I not?
I don't know. I mean, I think you're just more now, you know, it's horizontal, it's measured flat, latitude, elevation angles to and from Polaris.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, that's intentional, isn't it? I'm trying to get people to do as I do rather than do as I say in that regard. So if you're trying to tell people why we're making positive claims for the globe when we've got our own positive claims we can make, and you can make them on the front foot first thing you do in your elevator pitch, first time you get the mic, well, then you don't need to be leaning on Black Swan. It'll come up. You know, you'll end up needing it in debate. People will put things to you, and you need to know the arguments. And we need to have gone through that 10-year process of understanding all the intricacies of the globe argument so you can undo them. But now we can undo them and show them how Earth was measured flat to make them. It's a lot more powerful, but not if you do it reactively. You need to be proactively putting Earth as a flat measurement forward, and then letting your opponent put their globe claim, which you then tie to your original front foot forward claim. Because you can every time, if you know how to do it. Like I say, if you've just come to the show and gone, what? Earth's measured flat? Yeah, latitude. It's part of the mapping system. It's how we measure Earth. It was always measured that way, and those measurements have turned into a globe. Now you know that. You know Earth's flat. Does that mean you, if you just got here in the last 10 minutes and heard that sentence, could go out and debate people about the nature of Earth? Hell no. You'd be annihilated pretty quickly by somebody who's got a half-decent understanding of some affirming the consequent fallacy that you don't spot. You know, you've got to be a flat Earth ninja and know fallacies inside out and back to front, globe Earth inside out, back to front, measurements of Earth inside out and back to front, people's psychology inside out and back to front. That's what you've got to do to actually debate this subject. It's a roller coaster.
Well, it's gotten to the point now, in order to prove the globe, the first step is to measure Earth is flat.
Yep. So let them start their claim. After you've told them Earth is measured flat in all instances. When they make their first claim, you go, shocking, isn't it? He proved my point for me. She proved my point for me when their claim started with this elevation from sea level. It's an elevation off a flat surface. Level. Sea level. Level. Not curving. You need those heights, you need those elevations to start this globe claim. Then you insert a radial value that was also measured flat with Polaris. So you need quite a few flat Earth measurements to move this globe claim forward. What do you know? Exactly as I stated as my opener.
Lasers
Yep,
shooting
Earth
up.
is measured flat.
Go on, Derek.
Lasers shooting up was one of my favorite recent ones.
That sounds familiar.
We need
Did someone put that
yeah,
to
you
us
need.
on the debate?
That was during your 8-hour epic stream on Friday. Somebody was saying, "What happens if we shoot a laser straight up? Does the laser drop off like a bullet?" And well, in order to have up, we have to have the zenith, which is perpendicular to horizontal, which is the Earth's surface. So they proved flat Earth with one word: up.
I can't even remember that. Like I say, it was at the end of an 8-hour live stream. So, yeah, that absolutely stacks up. I just don't remember it happening. But yes.
That was the lumpy gas in a vacuum epic one.
Oh, okay. That was the same show.
Yeah, it was in the politics on Friday, I think.
Okay. Yeah, they're always very fruitful. Have visits to the politics server, aren't they?
Those guys are not up to date with the flat Earth to date.
No. But, you know, that's to our advantage to a certain degree, obviously. If they don't know any of the arguments and just put the same old rhetoric that's 10 years old into the mix, then obviously nobody from this panel is ever going to have any issue overcoming any of that garbage. And pointing out, oh, Earth's measured flat after the fact.
About that guy that came, I forgot what show it was. It might have been the same show where you asked him, why do you feel you could tell us anything? And he said, because we're flat earthers. Yeah. So they think because we're flat earthers, they could say whatever they want to say. Well, I'm sorry, the tables have turned. You're a ball earther. We'll talk to you the way we want to talk to you because we know what we're talking about. You don't.
We're flat earthers and we know better. Flat earthers know better as a stereotype. I mean, obviously that excludes all the true earthers and their nonsense and Ethereum garbage. Flat earthers, we know better. That's why we're telling you Earth's measured flat and showing you where you use those measurements of Earth as a plane to progress your stupid fundamentalist religious zealot globe belief that uses flat Earth measurements.
I mean, you've got like, you've still got a Kumu virus telling me yesterday that, you can navigate with a theodolite and you don't necessarily need a flat baseline for your elevation angle. I mean, this is what he's still chanting about. This, you know what I mean? Just is stuck. The psychological dilemma.
You mean they're stuck in the rut that they got stuck in at the point that they lost their argument a Kumu virus 2 years ago? It's just rinsing. They've been rinsing. You mean he's been rinsing and repeating for 2 years?
Hold on, 10th Man is here.
Hey, 10.
Hello, 10th Man.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, good morning, all. Got a few minutes here in between taking care of my wife, but was following what the show was doing with one earbud and need to contribute a little bit, if I may.
Yeah.
They lost it the minute they drew a tangent plane on a circle that's supposed to represent a sphere in all the celestial navigation drawings or any kind of drawing. The minute they have to use a tangent plane, they're telling you they're measuring the Earth flat. As you've said, the globe becomes surplus to requirement. So all of the other things follow that. Because if you research in celestial navigation why they use a tangent plane touching a sphere surface at one point, their answer is so ludicrous, but they fall into a trap. Their answer is simplicity, and this is the way it was done historically. And it's a lot easier. Well, the minute you put that tangent plane, that means the GP of the star that's not locally flat, because that's another thing they say. Well, to the observer, as he does a 360, the Earth is locally flat and the tangent plane serves a purpose. But if you investigate celestial navigation, you say, okay, what if the elevation angle to the star is 10 degrees above the horizon? That would leave an 80-degree co-altitude angle, which then multiplied by 60 nautical miles has a zenith distance on a shared baseline of that tangent plane of 4,800 nautical miles. Is 4,800 nautical miles a locally flat scenario for you?
No, it's enormous.
All game over. The tangent plane is their problem. When they first used it, they're saying we can't use the globe. We need this tangent plane. And when asked why, we'll say it's for locally flat. But then when you introduce a 10-degree or 15 or 20-degree elevation angle, it's no longer locally flat. It can be 4,800. It can be as much as 5,400 nautical miles. You want to double down and make it worse, Nathan? Here's what you do. You say, if you just do one elevation angle to one star, that's 4,800 nautical miles if you have a 10-degree elevation angle. But because it creates a circle of equal altitude, it's really 9,600 nautical miles that's all flat. There's no way to get out of it. Earth is measured, navigated, aviated, built upon, surveyed, flat. That's my contribution today. Gotta go.
Welcome back.
Getting some love from the chat.
Nice
Good to have
one,
you, Tenth. Crockett says, lots of love and prayer for you and your family, Tenth. Thank you for the super chat, Crockett. Also, Mike808 says, so nice to hear, Tenth. It is.
Thank you,
Mike.
Thank you, guys. I'll try to jump on as much as I can. Bye-bye.
See you later. Short and sweet.
So my prophecy was correct.
You had a prophecy, Neil?
I said, when refracted curvature left, 10th man will be back.
Okay. He's got something to say, and he had it. He said that. He said that to us so many times, and over the years, it dripped into us in the pre-shows. But you were saying it only yesterday, Neil, that when 10th explained for the first time that you've got an area of equal elevation, he just described it with 10 degrees to your left and 10 degrees to your right. You've suddenly got massive, massive flat area that all shares one baseline. How it functions, it's how it's measured, it's how it's mapped, it's how it's built on, it's how it's navigated. Earth's flat.
Yeah, as he was doing that, it just brought back so many memories. I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, whoa! So him doing it again, I love 10th.
Shout out to Flat Earth Truth. It says, the Earth was flat before anyone confirmed it, but once it was measured, it was used to navigate. Returning home was proof of the flat-out truth. Thank you very much for the super chat. And this is a blip on the radar that is flat. The globe. It's not particularly old, not even 10 generations. So, it could easily fall by the wayside just as quick as it has taken hold with a lot of effort to make it take hold. Like anything that isn't true, it can only last so long. You can't have nonsense last forever. Just so stories will cut it for a certain amount of time. Eventually people will figure it out. Now, we might be at the start of people figuring it out. We might be in the middle. We might be very near the end. And you just don't know where you are in terms of historic standard. And if the previous waves of Flat Earth have anything to show for what they've done, they just memory hole it all. Gets to a certain point, it's memory hold. That's what happened to the 90s and /2000s resurgence of Flat Earth. Where's it all gone? Where are all the old style forums and websites with this information on it as it was. Well, it's not there anymore. It's gone.
Just to put some context into what 10th was saying, 4,800 nautical miles is 5,520 miles of flatness.
But it isn't just a straight line. There are areas of equal elevation. So you're talking about, a square footage amount that's vast in terms of that whole circle emanating from the ground position itself is all flat in all directions. You're measuring 10 degrees above the horizon for that star, and then drawing a circle from the midpoint. That's the point below the star's zenith out. Well, that whole circle is all flat. But yes, the distance that he's just given you is one straight line that would be from, one star measured on your left and one star measured on your right, and then the vast distance that would be between the two radial values converging somewhere where you are. Well, that's vast areas of flatness. That's how it's dealt with, that's how it's measured, that's how it's mapped, that's how it's navigated. That's why all the maps are flat. They have to work with this system of angle measurements off a flat Earth. That's how it does work.
Do you remember in the beginning of the argument, flat Earth debate, they used to say celestial navigation proves that the Earth is a globe. It can only be done in a globe. You don't hear that anymore, do you?
Occasionally you see some idiot post it. Or you can only use a sextant on a globe. No. You fool. On the contrary, you can only get an angle measurement with respect to a horizontal plane of reference when you use that tool. You can't even look at a sextant if you're a glober. You think it only works on a sphere. Ugh. DALA says, thank you, 10th. You are missed, sir. Thank you for the super chat.
If anybody's paying attention, we change phrases. We change the way people speak.
Are you bigging yourself up there, Neil?
I mean, it's a fact. They don't say Michelson-Morley experiment anymore. Some knucklehead will do it every now and then. If you listen carefully, we change the way they phrase things.
Yeah, but we did because we used to care. We were attempting to influence people who we thought were our ambassadors. Well, they're not. Maybe this is going to take some time for you to sink in, Neil. Then they're inconsequential to us. Do you keep track of what the concave earthers do, Neil?
No, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about even globers. They just change the way they speak because of how we talk here, the things that are being discussed here.
Yeah, that is the objective of being a YouTuber. That when it gets monetized and people call themselves influencers, that's the point, isn't it, Neil?
Yeah, and what I'm saying is that should tell people something. If we weren't speaking truth, if we weren't speaking reality, you won't have globers changing the way they speak. It used to be, what it used to be before that? That the horizon was a geometric position, right?
Yeah, boats fell over the hill that is Earth curve. Not anymore. Shh, Black Swan. Doesn't look like it's going to kick off today, Neil. 10 minutes left on this live show, or a bit longer than 10 minutes, I should say.
I just sent Brian another message. I think he's stonewalling us.
Ubers never had a horizon to begin with. All they ever had was Earth curve.
Not only was it all they ever had, it was the only thing in the column that they could assert. So it was the only cause of things disappearing in the distance. You've got a column that they say, look at all these silly things flat earthers claim. And then they list off all the things that they say flat earthers say and claim they're all stupid because in their list they've got Earth curve. And that's it.
That's Timmy Khan's greatest contribution when he came up with that list. So all you have is Earth curve, huh?
Yeah, he's got a list and he's got perspective and perspective and the offing and angular resolution limits, Rayleigh criterion. He's got a whole bunch of things that you could use to describe the effects of seeing things. And then in his column, he's got Earth curve. Like, okay, so when we see a boat in the near foreground with the bottom obstructed and someone like Kofi or whatever his name is, Kosho, comes along and says, well, that's down to optical resolution loss. You're like, well, yeah, well, welcome to flat Earth. You've only got one thing in your list. It's Earth curve. If it isn't Earth curve, there's no claim for you to be making because it doesn't exist in your maths beyond simply Earth curve obstruction. That's all they've got to claim. They've hijacked all the effects of reality and just called them Earth curve. So that's the only thing in the list. Earth curve. So you debunk it. Then there's a claim of refraction, which relinquishes all geometric possibilities of ever measuring this point that's derived mathematically from a flat Earth. Hey, Eli. Hey, Eli.
Hello.
Hello. I thought we were going to get some fireworks on this show today, so I intentionally haven't pushed to get a video to cover.
Might happen in the after show.
It might. We'll see. Watch this space. Sorry to be vague. I hate leading people on, but there's things going on around me that I've got no real justification to pour, what's the word? Fuel on the fire. But it is interesting to see what's going on. It is directly related to what we have talked on the show, though, about us essentially being we've found ourselves at the forefront of flat Earth, where we've said we're on the cutting edge of flat Earth, but we were represented by generals and sergeants that didn't have our best views at heart. Hey, Refracted. Hello. No, it's obviously got mic issues. Hello? Might be tuning in from somewhere foreign to him.
Did you say refracted? Did he get fired already?
Yeah. No, I had to come back for a court date.
You had to come back for a court date?
Yeah. My wife is having a custody battle over our oldest son, so I got called back by subpoena.
That's a previous marriage, right?
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Okay. Well, nice to see you. Quicker than we expected.
Welcome back, John.
Yeah, me too. Hey, thank you. I thought it'd be a little bit longer myself too.
Nathan perked right up. His little pet is back.
Oh, shut up, Neil. Like a little reunion show.
There you go.
On earlier.
Notre Dame's. I mean, Neil's prediction was wrong.
I predicted when you had to leave that tent would be back, and I was correct. Tent was in here for a few minutes before. Were you listening, John?
Yeah, that's why I come back in. Is he gone already?
Yeah, he's already gone. Yeah, he came back in and talked about circles of equal elevation, areas of equal altitude, and gave it an example with 10 degrees above the horizon being the zenith distance, and quantified that in terms of how big and how flat Earth would have to be to do that. And then he went.
Yeah, and if you multiply that by 2 pi r, that would actually give you the actual area, not just the radial length.
Yes, it would. Yes, absolutely. My high school maths failing me again. Well, absolutely fantastic to see you. Nice that we've got 100 people watching when we've had a bit of a reunion show. Maybe that's what I should call the show.
No, you should call it the return of the 10th man.
I actually feel like it's more of a return to us being flat earthers. Yeah, where I said that at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again now. Where we previously thought we were divorcing ourselves from the community that was flat Earth, we weren't. We were being shunned from a community that just used the words flat Earth to entice people into a completely different community. So there's no loss being ostracized from that community because it wasn't flat Earth ever. That's why we had so many complaints about it, right? So that's good. So it just feels like a bit of a turning point.
John, did you hear the show on first of all, you couldn't make the Ball Busters. You missed your debut. Your name came up in lights. But did you listen to the show? Did you hear what the shyster actually said?
No, I've been doing the most boring reading and testing for the past week and a half. It's driven me insane, Neil. I'm sorry, I haven't had much time to do anything else.
Nathan, tell him what he said, Nathan.
Sorry, what was that?
Tell him what he said, Nathan. The Earth could be flat or it could be a what?
I wasn't listening to the first part. My wife came in and distracted me, and now I'm giggling at her. Sorry, you'll have to take me through what just happened while I get my composure.
I asked Refracted if he heard the show. He missed his name in lights, but if he heard QE's show the other day, he said no. So I said to you, tell him what the shyster said.
He said Earth could be a ball, basically.
A very big ball.
What?
Yeah, no. I've subsequently labelled several shows like Dave's Exit from Flat Earth and such like, and pointed out that based on that, if people interview him as a flat earther, I'll be calling them out. But going, why are you interviewing this guy? He's self-declared not a flat earther. When Ashton pushed 20 times, if he knew Earth was flat, he couldn't answer, and eventually declared himself a true earther.
Made himself a moron. Why did you leave the cult of heliocentrism, Dave?
He wanted to be his own new guru, and there was an interest in flat Earth, so he leached off that, and we are where we are today.
So instead of being happy with the answers he's got, he doesn't know what anything means. He's a complete idiot now. Instead of just being happy with the answers he's had, living in ignorance, now he's an idiot. Good for you, Dave.
Well, hey, John, I think the reason he didn't... Go ahead, George. Go ahead.
Hey, John, do you know beyond the shadow of a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt that the Earth is flat?
Yes.
See how easy that was?
Yeah, Jesse Lee Peterson asked Dave that 20 times, and Dave ended up saying no.
What?
He can't quite believe his ears, can he?
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening. It's a bit of a turn of... As a consequence of that, right, I've been saying this the whole show, I've said, well, we formerly used to say, well, we're not really part of the quote-unquote flat Earth community. We literally would say, quote-unquote, flat Earth community, end quote. Because we would want to somehow separate it from what we would still obviously call ourselves flat Earthers. But we weren't separating ourselves from a flat Earth community that just displeased us in the information they put out. They weren't flat Earthers. It was a different community. They were just leeching off people's interest in flat Earth the whole time. So when we were moaning about them not being good ambassadors, they weren't ambassadors for flat Earth.
Yeah, but did you hear what John just said? John just said everybody knows Earth is flat. Even the ballers know it's flat. So what the hell is Dave's excuse?
Who cares?
Yeah.
He's not one of us anymore, and I'd have to worry about it, do I? I'd have to worry about him being...
He said it could be a bigger ball.
Yeah, if he wants to believe...
It's not called Flat Earth Dave for nothing.
They do, actually. They do call him Flat Earth Dave for nothing, because it could be a big ball Dave. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it can't be a big ball either. It can't be a big ball either. It's measured flat. It can't be a big ball. You have to appeal to a stupidity at that point, or argue for ignorance to claim such a thing. We measure it flat. It is not a big ball.
He literally used an argument from ignorance to do that. We don't know that it isn't. He literally said that. He literally used an argument from ignorance, John. You identified it without even hearing it. We don't know that it
Maybe
isn't a
one day-
really big ball, so it could be. That's an argument from ignorance fallacy.
Yeah, and a special pleading fallacy because we measure it flat, Dave. Why would you say that? Unless you don't know how you measure Earth.
How flat can a ball be? I don't know.
Hold on. That's John, you hit it on the head. He does not know. So he lacked the confidence, but in the beginning he did say it's measured flat. But now if push came to shove, he wouldn't know how to go about it.
He didn't say it's measured flat. He said it's measured flat. He said because it's measured flat, we see too far. That's what he actually said.
Right.
But that's not the same as saying Earth is measured flat. Saying Earth's measured
Correct.
flat, and as a consequence, we will see further than the ball says we should see. It doesn't have the same ring to it, and it's diluted so far that it makes no sense. It's convoluted to the point of having two arguments put forth as one. It's garbage at that point. Understanding.
So he doesn't know it.
Go ahead.
He's basically pre-globe, like globers, people who believed in the celestial sphere. That's how they talk. You know, the flat earthers before the globers. That would be the way they spoke.
What he doesn't appreciate is that in order to say, well, it could be a very, very big ball that we just don't appreciate, it means he doesn't appreciate two things when he's made that statement. Number one, in order to infer that it's a ball of any description, requires that you appreciate how the ball comes to fruition. That is to say, the transposition from flat Earth elevation angle measurements to the stars, to the celestial sphere, onto a globe with an equatorial plane inside it. Now, if you can understand how, your projected points off the equatorial plane can be mapped through a hemispherical globe that you're standing inside, you can understand how that model conception, out-of-the-box thinking, has been applied to give your flat Earth measurements sphericity and orbital motion. That's where you get the idea that Earth could be a ball at all from. Now, for that to be a coherent idea in terms of its practical application within the model only, it must comport to the measurements we take on Earth, which are flat. So once you understand that in order to extrapolate out a ball from flat Earth measurements, you start with flat Earth measurements and then infer a ball in a model, that's what we've all reified, that's the globe model. That's why we think we're standing on a sphere. But once you point out that that's come from flat Earth measurements, you then haven't got a reason to say, well, it could be a ball of some description, because the only ball of any description was the one that came from the flat Earth measurements. So you wouldn't then say, well, because I know that the ball that we inferred we were standing on when we weren't came from measurements of a flat Earth, that also might infer that it could be an absolutely ginormous ball. No, that's completely non sequitur at that point. Doesn't infer that. It's incorrect. But there we go.
Yeah.
I don't care. He's not my ambassador anymore, and I'll be pointing that out till I'm blue in the face as we go forward. And moaning when people interview him like he's a flat earther just because he's put his name tag on that says Flat Earth Dave. That doesn't mean he's a flat earther. He's already admitted he isn't.
Right, but he's more of the pre-globe flat earthers, where they could have the false dichotomy argument. Those people that believed it was flat arguing with people that believed it wasn't, and then a globe was birthed from that stupidity. That's where he's at.
Yeah, he wants the false dichotomy. I see what you're saying now. Yes. Yeah, he wants it in the false dichotomy position where I will assume a flat Earth measurement that turns into a sphere so I can claim Earth's sphere. And here's your straw man argument of what you say is a flat Earth. For Dave, it's in his app.
Yeah, so for him, it's not a straw man. He believes that model. That's his.
Yep. Unfortunately, it assigns ownership when you monetize it. That means you've got your false dichotomy lined up for everyone who approaches him. But, like I say, doesn't mean anything to me anymore. He's not our ambassador. He's not a flat earther. He isn't capable of telling an interviewer that he knows Earth's flat. That's all we need to know. It does, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, put us in the position where, well, we are at the top of the tree then when it comes to putting out actual flat Earth information. If the people who claim to be flat earthers aren't, where does the buck stop? Well, the buck stops here, doesn't it?
Yeah.
King of the hill.
That's why I think we should send an email to this guy, or a comment at least, saying if you really want answers to your questions, you should ask. And this channel should come in and ask us these questions.
That's what I do every day. I do the call to action when I tell people to let them know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. But with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
Anyway.
What, Neil?
Well, that, or they just perceive that these people who have the larger viewing audiences are the ones worth speaking to. So they go to them and they get the argument they're looking for by that happenstance. You know,
You might
may
be
not
right,
be nefarious.
You might be right, because the guy said he came highly. He said, Dave, you came highly recommended, and you can't tell me if Earth is flat.
Yeah, that changed with Jesse. So yes, people might have gone, well, he's the biggest name in flat Earth. What could possibly be wrong with asking him? Well, they'll find out, won't they? This guy's not a flat earther. He's a stooge. Did you need the stooge version of flat Earth?
Wait, we didn't tell John the main thing. David Weiss did contact somebody on our side to give an answer of why he didn't answer the question of Earth being flat, was because Peterson would have brought him to mountains. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm still digesting this. So a flat earther, or someone who says they're a flat earther in their name, doesn't know the Earth is flat.
Yep.
No, but his excuse was because if I said yes, Earth is flat beyond the shadow of a doubt, then he would have asked me, then what about mountains? If you can't overcome mountains, my friend, which don't need to be overcome at all, you need to find another line of work.
Mountains are not the Earth. Mountains are a part of the Earth. That is stupid. What about mountains? Okay. Yeah, that's not the entire Earth. We're talking about the entire Earth, not a mountain.
But why would you expect a true earther to understand flat Earth arguments? That's the point. From this point forward, it's like, of course Dave didn't have an answer. He's just peddling himself as a flat earther so that you'll have him on his show to talk about that subject, and he won't talk about it. He'll babble on about what he knows about the globe not working for hours and hours, talk about ether, and that'll be it.
Well, he doesn't know why the globe doesn't work either, from what I've been able to tell of him. I've never heard him give a coherent argument to why the globe doesn't work. Have you?
Even saying that Earth could be a bigger ball tells you that he doesn't know anything about heliocentrism.
But he did say the Earth is measured flat, and we all got excited. And then he said something like, "Well, how would you know that?" And he said, "Well, we see too far."
We see too far.
What?
And we got excited and let down, right? In one breath, we were like, "Yeah, aww."
See, that's where just repeating the rhetoric ain't the same as knowing why you say it.
Yeah, Dave fits into that.
That's where
Dave fits into that category that I said if you come along and who's that? Someone in Discord's got their mic wide open. If you come across the show, hear that Earth's measured flat, and listen to and comprehend a description of elevation to Polaris for the sake of argument, you don't then enter into debate because you've got a cursory understanding of how Earth is flat. You understand how Earth is flat. It doesn't mean you could debate it. Dave falls into that category. He might have a cursory understanding of how flat Earth works, so he can put his name badge on that says Flat Earth Dave, and then go and talk about how the globe don't work for hours on end, or talk about ether, or talk about his app, and then finish the interview having not talked about flat Earth at all. That's what's been going on for years. That's why I've been moaning. But as I keep saying, it doesn't matter. Just point out this guy's not a flat earther. Why do you think he doesn't have the ability to answer in the affirmative when asked if he knows Earth's flat? Because he isn't a flat earther. Now it's really glaring. He even clarified
So we got to
that.
put a
Well, I call
nada
myself
in
a
front
true
of
earther.
his
He even
name.
clarified it. Sorry, John.
So when they call him Flat Earth Dave, we got to put the nada in front of his name.
Yeah, and ask him why they're interviewing stooges that don't really represent the subject. Did you want to talk about True Earth and Dave's app? Is that what you really wanted to talk about? Because he's not going to talk about Flat Earth with you. He was asked 20 times by Jesse if he knew it was flat and couldn't answer, and then declared himself as a true earther. So he's a charlatan, and we'll be pointing that out if people interview him.
Thing is, as well, Nathan, I did sort of ask you the other day on that show, you know, what would some of your answers been maybe a couple of years ago? But like, because at the moment, with the help of all you guys, we are demonstrating and explaining how it's measured flat, elevation, angles, celestial navigation. What did we used to do? I mean, I know we had the black swan, which is just debunking the radius, really, or the globe, or the radius size. What apart from now? What was it? What was the previous proof that it was measured flat that we used, or did we not use one before the sextant?
No, prior to the black swan, you attacked the measure. Prior to the black swan, you attacked the flat Earth measurements they were claiming for a globe.
Yeah.
See, they were using it one deck. They were telling us the whole time. We just weren't catching on to it. Every time they used sea level.
Wasn't. Yeah. So we was saying how the globe proofs aren't correct and there's no evidence for globe proofs. It wasn't like we are now saying, no, it's measured flat and we can explain in detail how that is done. We wasn't doing it, was we? And that's Dave's not doing it either, obviously.
Yeah, but back then we got them to say, even without the black swan, even with. Sorry.
One at a time. Go ahead, John.
George was first. Go ahead, George.
I was impersonating Nathan.
I thought it was Nathan.
Okay, go ahead, George.
Even before the black swan and before the Saxon, obviously, we got them to concede that geometrical horizon only exists in the maths, and that was a big step.
I often wonder what we were talking about before that.
How much Earth curve was measured? That's why the argument of we see too far. For what? The amount of Earth curve we measure? We don't measure Earth curve. What are we talking about seeing too far? Who's high? Who's been smoking? That's where we should have been at, but we weren't. We were lost in chasing their measurement, which was ours.
Yeah, but that's what got you here, right? When you realized they were not measuring Earth curve, right?
That's what I'm saying. So if 3 years ago we was on the show, I say we, but you know, John or Nathan, and the guy said, "Well, do you know the Earth is flat?" Yeah, I do. How? You didn't have the elevation angle then, or using the latitude example. What would you have said? How how it's measured? And
Rise over run. It's a plane measurement.
I never heard that argument rise over run until, the Black Swan.
It's not an argument.
Yeah, but I never even heard it. So I know it wasn't talked about prior to the Black Swan. I never heard it here.
Right, because we were all arguing about the amount of Earth curve we measure, Neil. Everyone was focused on the amount of Earth curve we measure. That's the problem.
Like Dave's still doing it.
But one Deck's question is, what would we have said if we don't have the information we have now, and he's before us, we're being interviewed, and the guy says, "Do you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Earth is flat?" How would we have responded?
Not with something non sequitur. If we were better, to be honest.
How would you have responded? Forget about everything you know now.
Based on everything I know now, elevation.
No, forget about everything. Forget about everything you know now. Make believe it's 4 years ago.
Water is level.
Yeah, that's one. That's one we would have used. Yep. Correct.
Sea sparrow.
The horizon is horizontal.
Horizontal.
Nathan said sea sparrow. He would have never used that.
Straight and level flight, aviation, aeronautic.
Flight, there you go.
Are they measurements, though?
No, you said how do you know it's flat? What are the things that make you know it's the knowledge that it's flat? Not
right.
Specifically, measurement is one of the things, and that's what's come recently, isn't it? Now we know how it's measured flat. That's another. It's proof.
Surveying as well, probably. Surveying probably would have been one as well, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah, so they kind of screwed us by kind of leading us.
Go on, Eli.
They kind of screwed us by leading us down a path that we like. There might have been gold behind door number 1, but there's this goblin like, come over here to this cave, right? So it's like the bottom line is when we were saying, well, water is level, all they did was confuse that with the quality of flatness as it relates to, smoothness of a surface, when really we were talking about an orientation.
Yes.
No, they were saying, look, we measure curvature. What are you talking about? It's flat. And
okay, so how do you
the
measure
argument was
curvature?
had, well, how much curvature are we measuring? Then if you measure curvature, then it's curved. It was like everybody missed it, I guess.
No, I'm saying.
I guess what they've been saying to us all along.
Water is. Oh, God.
Because your mic's a bit low, Eli.
Is my mic terrible?
Yeah, a little bit. That's why you're getting rumpus. But carry on. I can hear you. Go ahead. George, next.
Me? Okay. I was saying that, yeah, but if we had appreciated that it was a non sequitur from the, water is level. Oh, yeah, well, how come there's measured curvature? How? Water is level. That means that just from the beginning, this is a horizontal plane that you could use to reference literally everything else. So where would you be measuring curvature? That's BS.
Well, that's pretty much what I was going to say, because the only curvature is for a circle of equal altitude. Now they are trying to transform a circle into a sphere. It doesn't work like that. That's how you find latitude. It's with a circle. The curvature is from a circle, not from a sphere.
Well,
Nathan,
do you want
can
to
I
try
get your attention 1 second?
exercise? How about this? Well, hold on. We'll try an exercise. Everything from the Black Swan to today, information that we have now, you're not allowed to use. Would you be willing to debate me on what you understand the Earth to be?
Sure, I'll play with you.
I'll call it if you use something that's post Black Swan then, okay? But before you do, Mush, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you don't read your text in Discord, but Paula's trying to reach out to you. She said she's been banned on your channel for some reason. She doesn't know who did it, so she's asking if you can unban her.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do.
Who the hell banned Paula?
You know, her fiery temperament obviously got her banned, Neil, and her.
Yeah.
Okay, that aside, hello, Paula. That aside, right, Eli.
Hello.
You've got to postulate what you know about Earth then, it's pre 2020.
Yeah. Okay. So water is level.
Yes, and level conforms to the surface of and
No, it's an oxymoron. You can't have level not being level. What you're saying is that level actually means that it's a curve. That's an oxymoron.
That's what he said. Yeah.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I did.
You interpreted it that way.
No, you
So I didn't
said
say that.
you said.
Deal with what I said.
So what did you say? Say it again.
Level conforms to the surface of Earth.
Okay, yeah, that's great. That's what I'm saying. You do understand the definition of level, right?
No, you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Would you like me to pull it up now?
now move forward with that.
Okay. So what's the problem?
Well, we measure curvature of Earth. I don't see how you're fighting this.
Well, if water is level and the level water conforms to the surface of the Earth, how could it be curving? You just agreed with me that water is level.
We just measured it. What are you talking about? Are you confused?
You just agreed with me that water is level. So I asked you if you know what that meant, and you said, yeah, you don't have any contention. So maybe we should review
And I give you the definition. Right. No. No, I give you the definition. It conforms to the surface of Earth. You agreed.
Yeah, I do.
You don't get to back out.
No, I do agree that it conforms to the surface of Earth.
Your Earth's curvature. Deal with that. No. Deal with what I just said now. You agreed to my statement. Now deal with that.
Saying that the Earth is curved and that water conforms to the surface of the Earth are completely non sequitur statements. I don't have to, because your statement doesn't follow.
What do you mean my statement doesn't follow?
I just told you.
Water level conforms to the surface of Earth. We measure the surface of Earth curved.
Okay, so there is a problem here because level means horizontal, straight, having no part higher or lower than another. What you're telling me is that that's not the case in your following premise. So you have two things. You have level and water conforming to the surface of the Earth, which would be level. And then you're saying you're measuring curvature. So I don't understand that because those two things are non sequitur.
You use a level to establish a horizontal plane of reference. It doesn't mean the level itself is the horizontal plane of reference.
No, water itself is level.
You're confusing two different aspects.
Water itself is level.
You're confusing your personal perspective.
No, water itself is level.
The actual world we stand atop.
No, water itself.
So yeah, you're confused. They are not the same thing.
No, water itself is level. So unless you have a contention with the definition, which you should be forthcoming about, because we're not going to blow past it, I don't really see how your argument
I dealt with it. Your definition was flawed. I just dealt with your definition. I said it was flawed. You're saying that level is horizontal, but that's not the definition. That's a synonym used to establish horizontal, which is level.
No.
Yeah, you're wrong.
No. Okay, so check this out. Level means one thing. You telling me that level conforming to the surface of the Earth still means that level is horizontal and straight. So if you're saying something different, which I think you are.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, so then what's the problem?
That. You're saying
there's a problem and you're saying there's not a problem.
No.
Yeah. That's
I'm
why
saying
we're
you're
getting nowhere.
wrong horizontal. So level is used to establish horizontal does not mean that level itself is horizontal. So you have to deal with that.
Yes, it does.
because
Level
you
and
can't
horizontal are synonyms, like you said.
How?
You said that.
deal with that.
What do you? Level and horizontal are synonyms,
Yeah.
like you said.
You use one. You use that. They're synonymous because you use one to establish the other. But as of now, how are you going to prove that?
No,
Level is
no. When I say water is level, that's just
Can I
an
prove that?
absolute statement. Water being level
as
water
conforming
being
to the
level is
surface
an
of Earth.
absolute statement. You're saying it's conforming to the surface of Earth. That doesn't
Yes.
change the fact that level
That
means
is the absolute
horizontal.
statement.
So that doesn't change the fact that water being level is still
you're begging the
horizontal.
question.
No, I'm not.
You're begging the question at this point because
I'm not.
level conforms to the surface
I'm
of
sorry.
Earth.
Justify telling me that I'm begging the question.
You're just confusing the surface of Earth with horizontal, so you can argue that level is horizontal when that is not the definition.
No, level is an orientation, which horizontal also is an orientation.
But what you have
So
done,
when I say, don't interrupt me, please.
but what you have done,
Don't interrupt me,
you're
please.
not dealing
Don't interrupt me,
with
please.
measurement.
Don't interrupt me, please. If that's okay with you. Horizontal and level are synonyms. So when I say water is level, it means that water is level. So if water is level and the Earth is 70% and Earth is 70% covered with water, so they say, that water is going to be level. Now you're telling me, yeah, but that's conforming to the surface of the Earth. Well, that means that the Earth is level then, unless you're saying something different than what the word is defined as.
Right. I'm not changing anything.
Great.
The word's defined, it conforms to the surface of Earth. You're saying level is horizontal. Prove that.
No, I don't have to. They're synonymous. It's a description.
You're
So
done
like when I see water is level. That's a description. You're telling me to prove something that I'm not measuring it. I'm not measuring it. I'm not measuring anything. I'm telling you, and you understand
You're done.
that water is level.
No, you're done
trying to.
At that point. You just told me you're not measuring anything. You don't know anything, but we do measure curvature. Deal with that now.
That's completely non sequitur.
You don't know
the fact
anything.
that water is level.
It's not a non sequitur. You don't have any facts. You just said you don't know anything.
So what do you guys think about, up until this point of the conversation?
Pointless, an impasse. Meanwhile, I'll point out to my avatar picture that's a snooker table for those who don't have access to the picture. It's been there for quite some time. That's been my argument for a level plane of reference. Anywhere on that level plane, you'll put a ball and it won't roll, won't move any direction. That's a level plane, not curved plane. It's a level plane.
Not fair.
I used my avatar picture for it.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't have to say any of that. But like the whole point is semantically, what I'm saying is ironclad. You're trying to say, well, okay,
no, it's not.
Level. Yeah, it is. Because I don't have to.
No, you're just begging the question and saying it's ironclad.
Listen. Don't interrupt. Why do you keep interrupting? When you say no, it's not.
You're wrong.
When you say no, it's not.
Yeah,
you gotta give me a chance. You gotta give me a chance.
Something that's wrong.
Listen. You're not really a glober, so listen, Bucko. Okay. The bottom line is, I'm not measuring. I'm giving you a description because level is just what it is. There's no there's no measure that you measuring is completely non sequitur to the fact that water is level. So I'm asking you.
Elijah,
I'm asking you. How do these two completely non sequitur things come together in your mind?
Elijah, you just said you're not measuring anything. You're describing. Description is measurement. What are you talking? You don't even know what the words you're using mean now, do you?
Does anybody else agree?
I'm just thinking, so back in the day when you was using like you was talking about water level, water will find and seek and find its level. What was their actual rebuttal then at that point? Is it like what
Well,
Johnny's
there's no. The
thing, or-
bottom line is water is level. It's not an argument. It's not the problem. The problem is the problem is
Let me
water.
answer. Did you?
The problem.
You. He didn't
The
ask
problem. The problem is
He
it's
didn't
not an
ask
argument. It's not an argument. So this is why it's taken this long to have this kind of conversation. Because when we said water was level, based on the definition and the description of water at rest, that should have been the end of the conversation. It's people who have given the rhetoric like you to confuse it. I didn't beg the question of anything when I say water is level. What are you talking about?
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said level is horizontal, and then you did not offer any proof.
Level and horizontal are synonyms. If I say water is horizontal, it's the same statement. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean,
if I say water is
at the moment-
horizontal, it's the same statement. What are you talking about? That's not begging the question. You're just telling me no, level is not level.
I've never heard
horizontal
anybody
is
say
not horizontal.
water horizontal.
Who cares?
I've never heard
Horizontal,
anybody
level.
say, take that water
I don't care what you heard
measure,
before. Horizontal and level, in the case of an orientation, mean the same thing. This is what you're not getting.
I think it's triggered as Elijah is. I've proven my point now. I'm not going to carry on. As triggered as he is not letting me speak. It's done. Yeah,
That's
we
not
need the
fair.
information we have now.
He's so
That's
nasty.
not
I
fair.
hate when he gets all womany and catty. I don't know where that comes from, because he's much more intelligent than that. I don't get it. Because I know I'm right.
That's not exactly. I'm pointing out that we're at an impasse, and he's saying that I'm a woman.
Well, you keep telling me I'm begging the question for telling you that water is horizontal. You said I never heard that. So what? And?
Water is level. See, this was my point, and Elijah's demonstrating it admirably. You don't lead to a conclusion. You lead to ambiguity. Who wins in an ambiguous argument with the globe at this point in time? It's certainly not flat Earth. That's my point.
It's not you. It's just people that are invincibly ignorant.
It's about me, is it, Elijah?
Look, majority of the world is invincibly. Majority of the world is invincibly ignorant about a lot of things. Eli can't help that, but he can tell the truth. I didn't beg the question. I said a completely valid statement, and you responded with a non sequitur. You tried to get me off of my point, and I've made the same point the entire time.
You begged the question. You begged the question, and then you never give a statement that connected the two.
Nathan, am I begging the question when I'm saying water is level?
And then you
Nathan, am I begging the question when I'm saying water is horizontal or water is level? Water is horizontal. Water is level.
Yes.
Water is straight.
No.
They're all synonyms.
Water is horizontal. Water is level.
Water is straight. They're all
How
synonyms.
do you know that? How do you know that?
It's the description of water that's at rest. What do you mean? How do I know?
How do you know horizontal is level?
He's asking. So he says he agrees with the definition. He says he agrees with the definition of level, and now he's asking me, how do I know? Isn't that silly?
Yeah, John, you're rumpus him, John. Stop rumpusing Eli.
No. Now listen to what I'm saying, because the words are important.
He is.
Okay?
Yeah, they are.
You're
wrong.
saying
I'm a better
level
wordsmith than you.
I thought we.
Oh God! Can you do better than that, Elijah? Is this your tactic? Just
I am a better
wordsmith
than you. I get paid to talk. What are you talking about?
Failing in the argument because you're failing with the argument.
Now you're trying to tell me that level isn't level. How do I know that level is level? No, level is level, bro. Level is an orientation.
Anybody on Earth is probably embarrassed for you at this moment.
Okay, well, get a better connection first of all.
I mean, I don't know. I thought
you guys
it's about my connection. It isn't about the statements I made. You never addressed one of them. You just said nonsense and waved
He's still a baller at
You didn't
heart.
say why.
He's still a baller at a lot of other aspects of his life. That's that.
You're over talking him. Can you just let John get like a good 30 seconds?
You said level is horizontal. You never gave
Level is
evidence
horizontal
of it.
because
Why are
horizontal and
you
level are
just walking
synonyms
past
in
it?
word. Like, that's why. I'm not saying this means that, this proves that. I'm saying they're both the same thing.
I dealt with that. I said it was synonymous.
Okay,
And I said
so
why it was synonymous. I dealt
so
directly
then
with
we're
that,
not
and you
really
just walked
arguing. I
past
don't get it. If they're synonymous,
said-
I don't get what the argument is.
level is used to establish. Now, just talk to what I'm saying then. You don't want to hear the argument, do you, Elijah?
I already heard you, but then you got triggered and claimed that I got triggered because you think that I'm begging the question. I'm
Level.
like, that's not happening.
Oh my God. Can I tell you why you are? Do you want to hear why you are?
Bro, go ahead.
You'll have to not talk through me. So go ahead and put yourself on
Well, I
mute.
haven't. I'll put myself on mute.
Right. The statement that level is horizontal is wrong. Just flat out. Level is used to establish horizontal. Level is synonymous with horizontal. But how would you know that level is horizontal?
Okay, yeah, you just contradicted yourself.
You just hand waved me by saying I contradicted myself. Point out how I contradicted myself.
Okay, so you said level and horizontal are synonyms. Now, how do you know that level is horizontal?
No, that isn't what I said. All I said. I said level is
That's
used
exactly
to
what you
establish
said.
a horizontal. It does not. Pardon me.
You
Put
could
yourself on
easily
mute
say
when I
that
talk.
level is used to establish a level. You're just changing the words, but they mean the same thing.
A level's used to establish a level, then you're just begging the question, aren't you?
Not if you're using something like a tool, like a water level, to establish what is level. What are you talking about?
You're using a level to establish what is level. You're asserting that the earth is level. You've not said anything, Elijah.
Yeah, I said water is level.
and
That's
you
why
just
you can
assumed
use a
you
water
wanted
level
argument.
tool to establish level. What are you talking about? Where's the begging the question at? I'm using the thing that I told you was. I'm using the thing that I told you was level to tell you it's level. Here, we can even use a tool to build things by using water because water at rest is level.
Description of begging the question.
So we're going to skirt past the fact that he said I'm begging the question, but really, go ahead, bro, because I don't.
You give an adequate description of begging the question, but at this point, you
put my words in the begging the question fallacy right now.
Oh my
right
God!
Now. Put my words in the begging the question fallacy right now. Put my words into the begging the question fallacy
go
right
ahead
now.
And put yourself on mute before I respond. I'll not respond to you unless you're on mute. Yeah, for the standard that you've laid down, you've still not dealt with the measurement of curvature, and now we're just lost in an ambiguity because you have no way of putting what you know to what is. You just can't do it. You can't make that connection. All you can do is beg the question and say level is level, therefore level's a level. It's lost.
Okay, so check this out. You're the one that invoked a measurement and curvature, but prior to that, I was asked how I would make the statement about flat Earth. I made an ironclad statement about flat Earth, and then you said, no, I measure it to be curved. And I said, well, that would be interesting, seeing as that water is level. I didn't even deal with your claim, but somehow, I don't know if it's exactly a reversal of the burden of proof, but I never said that I was going to be measuring anything, but you're claiming that you have a measure of curvature. All I said was, how is that the case when water is level? You didn't answer.
Then
Here's
how do you know?
You didn't say that.
Yeah.
You just argued against level.
Hold on. Put yourself on mute. Don't keep talking. You said you don't have a measurement. You don't have a description. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't say I didn't have a description. That's what level. The water is level. That's a description.
Oh,
He's
it
confused
is.
as fuck, guys. I don't know. Y'all tell me. So at the point that I said water is level, he tried to say he agreed, but then he said he measured curvature. I said, how so? If you agree with
Taking a position
level,
is level.
why are you
Oh my
talking,
God.
bro? I went on mute when you asked. I went on mute when you asked. I tried to be as
I was in
amicable
the
as
middle of
possible, and you're still doing what you're
speaking when
doing,
you
bro.
started. You're triggered. I don't know why.
Is it him or is it me? Like, you guys
why
at
you're-
this point have to step in and say something. Well, I mean, I'm not going to participate in a dog show because it makes a good
Oh,
show.
come on.
I really do want a
I'm wearing-
resolution here.
I'm wearing my 2019 hat on. Come on.
All right. I thought we were just playing a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, we are.
I'm wearing my
He's
2019 hat
obviously
on.
like, he's obviously upset. So, like, somebody
I
needs
thought
to
we were
say.
like
Somebody
talking
needs
about
to
Ballers
Right,
always get upset,
Okay.
Eli.
I'm not upset. I'm telling you.
He's not
No,
I'm trying to
John
tell
has.
you that that the arguments you guys used with level is level, that's
not
not
an argument.
saying anything.
Yeah, it's not an argument. You're looking for it to be an argument.
No kidding.
It's not an
but that's
argument.
what flat earther.
Yeah, but I don't need to
Right, it's what
argue
you
to
said.
give you. I don't need to argue to tell you a truthful statement. And then you agreed with the truthful statement, but then you contradicted
is
yourself by
level
saying prove
is
that level is
meaningless.
horizontal. I don't have to. Why would you prove something that you already know is the case? Why would I have to do that?
No, you don't. You've not connected it. You've not connected it. You want to argue for it, but
what?
we don't have the information we have now. You can't connect it, and you're upset you can't connect it. So now you're attacking me for it. And okay, yeah, you
have
win.
bad argumentation.
Go ahead.
Bro. I mean, you have bad argumentation. Sometimes you're good, sometimes you're not.
Yeah,
you're like a dog with a bone.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm such a big baby. You win because I'm a big baby.
Well, I could be a big baby too. I'm sometimes a big baby, but I mean, you're really here we are in 2024. I'm actually saying something that's actually not. Yo, bro, you stopped talking and I started talking, and now I hear your mouth.
Yeah,
so
because
you're gonna have
you want to make this about me a lot. You're not that. You're trying to make this about me.
At the end of the day, it's 2024, and my statement that water is level now is just as valid as it would have been back then. It's not an argument. It's just a truthful statement.
And it is meaningless unless you can apply that to a description of the world in which you do not beg the question. So go ahead, do that.
No, water is level, including when I'm moving my hands on the beach through the water of the ocean. Yeah.
We're pre-Black Swan, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
But he's not accepting that level is horizontal. He's saying prove it. Like, why? How? For what? Either he said he agreed with it, and then he said prove it.
And you're still ignoring me. Let me. You asked a question. Let me answer you. I said level is used to establish a horizontal plane of reference. It does not mean it is a horizontal plane of reference itself. How would you know? You've not dealt with that. You've acted like I've not said anything, and you just moved.
This is
gone.
You're the baller, aren't you?
My response, yeah. Hold on, don't ask him any more questions. Yeah, I did address that. I said water is level. You said, how do you connect it? I'm like, what do you mean? First of all, when you're establishing a level, you use water. That's how you know water is level. Like, what do you mean?
Wow, you don't know what I'm saying to you, do you?
Yeah, the water,
you're not actually
the water on a calm lake, we know is level. That's why when we're building things that are off level, we use something like water to make sure we have a level for a foundation. But the water is level because that's the nature of water, sir.
Right. Now, deal with what I say this time. We use a water level to establish a horizontal plane of reference. That does not mean water is level or is horizontal itself.
That's dumb. That's a dumb statement to me. And the only reason I say that is it's based on the definition of level. I don't understand what.
All right.
Oh my God! You're gonna decide when you're gonna decide when I'm done. Are you gonna decide when I'm done? So you're gonna decide when I'm done because I said it was dumb. No, it's dumb because when I tried to bring up the definition of level, you already said you agreed. So I just moved. I moved along for the sake of not treating you as a remedial.
Right. So it's about me, and this is dumb. Okay. That's what people hear. And that's why flat earthers got no respect prior to the Black Swan, if you ask me.
I don't know. Is this your champion still, Nathan?
I think John's trying to make a point.
He's trying to make a point off me, but it's a bad one.
No, I don't think it's you personally.
No, the problem, I've had this same sorry to cut you off, Neil, but I've had this same problem with flat earth for a long time now. Don, I'm already talking, bro. I'm already talking, bro. I cut Neil off to tell him what I'm telling him. Now, Neil, when I realized that level is the definition, and the only level that contradicts itself is the one where they say that it conforms with the liquid parts of Earth, which is assumed to be a sphere. That's the only one that's contradictory. You can't have a definition that violates the law of non-contradiction. You can't do that. So, and for all intents and purposes, bro. You're in violation. Yo, bro.
That's not the definition.
John, you're rumpusing him, John. Let him finish.
Like, so at the end of the day, I've always been upset when I found this out because I thought, holy shit, when we were telling them that water at rest is level years ago, the conversation should have stopped there. We should not have argued with idiots that took us further than that. And you're saying, well, we should have been better. No, we shouldn't have stooped down to the level of not accepting what level means.
Okay. We're going in a circle and you're not getting what I'm saying or you're just not addressing it. Level is synonymous with horizontal because it's used to establish a horizontal plane of reference. Do you agree?
Of course I agree.
Now, how do you know that level is horizontal if it's used to establish horizontal? And how is it used to establish horizontal?
It's a malformed question.
With dip correction, maybe? Would you agree to that?
Yeah, I'm not agreeing to anything other than it was a malformed question. You do know what those are, right?
A malformed question when I ask you how you know level is horizontal. That's malformed, is it?
Yeah, you said we use water to establish a level. Now, how do you know that level is horizontal?
I did not say that. No. Wrong.
Am I that wrong for summarizing him, guys? Was I that wrong?
A water level to establish a horizontal.
Whatever leveling tool, John. You're like a girl. You're like a little girl.
No,
whatever tool, water level, whatever level you're using. You're like a little fucking girl. Whatever level you're using, bro. Whatever level you're using.
Easy. No swearing.
The bottom line is you're using a level tool because there's an aspect of reality where level exists. So when you're saying prove level is level, it doesn't make sense.
I'm not telling you to prove level is level. I'm sorry. That's not what I said. You're just begging the question.
You did. You said prove level is horizontal. You did say that. Exactly.
Oh
exactly.
No, you said prove level
Exactly.
is level. I never
Level
told you
is
to do that. I
synonymous with
told you to prove
horizontal.
level
What's wrong? He's like, when I say prove level is level, it's the same thing as
I told you
prove
why
level
it's
is
synonymous.
horizontal. It's the same thing.
You're
Prove
not
level is
listening to me.
level.
You're not listening to me, and you're saying things that are non sequitur because
No, I'm not. Proving
I said
level is
water.
level,
Okay,
and prove level is horizontal is the same statement.
and you think you're winning with this. You actually think you're winning right now.
No, I'm just saying something that's a fact. Saying prove level is level and
You
prove
think-
level is horizontal is the same exact statement.
Why?
Because,
Prove
like you said, they're
that.
synonymous. What are you talking about?
No.
I told you why they're synonymous, Eli.
This is why I told y'all to step in before I'm not understanding why he's not stopping. I don't get it. Like it's blowing my mind.
So I believe that Eli's making. Sorry, I believe Eli's making a disjunctive syllogism. He's making a disjunctive argument from level and water, and it is a valid form of an argument. And that's why it's not begging the question, and it does follow logically for inference from water and level and horizontal. I just don't know that we have fleshed out the argument correctly in this conversation, but I believe that that's what Eli is getting to.
It's not. Well, that was my point. Thank you. But it's never been dealt with correctly. And Elijah just demonstrated that because I was able to chase him around with his own tail, with him just saying non sequitur and barking at me, calling me a girl.
But
that was my point.
No,
we
but
can
he
only
just
take
said
the
that my
information we have
argument.
now.
I said it wasn't an argument. But the bottom line is, he just said that what I was saying was valid, and you're saying that was my point. But if you was saying that what I said was valid, I'm sorry. You stopped talking. 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 Are you
kidding me?
You stopped talking. So he said that what I said was valid, and you said that what he said was valid, which is why you didn't understand why I was responding with non sequitur. You're a walking contradiction, and it's sad, bro.
No, you obviously didn't understand what just happened. Let me walk you through it. The form of the argument that was taking place that you were charging with was wrong. Left it as.
You're breaking up, bro. I don't want your point to get lost. I want you to come through. Let's wait for him to come back. Well, I hate to pile on to my position when he's not here, but I also don't want dead air. So, like, I don't understand how I said what I said. He said it was valid. The other guy just said, well, what he said is valid. And he then said, yeah, that was my point. So if what I said was valid and you're saying it's your point, then you didn't have a point. I don't get it.
You're getting it, and it's getting frustrating that you're not getting it. Look, he is correct. Hell, I'll even say you're right. Of course you're right. I'm a friggin' flat earther. What do you think I've been doing for the past 10 minutes, leading you around in circles? Do you not get what my point was?
I pointed out that that's what you were doing.
God damn it. Please, let me explain it to you. You don't understand it, obviously. Why are you talking through me? The point is, the way you are arguing that is wrong. But what he said about it being a disjunctive syllogism is absolutely correct. The statements you were making, yeah, I agree with those. But the point is, the argument itself that you were having was wrong. You should not have been arguing. But you were.
It just sounds like you contradicted yourself. That's the part I don't get.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Level is curved. After all.
We didn't understand that. You're also breaking up one deck. Sorry.
I mean, just because it's called sea level doesn't mean it's level.
So understanding the premise.
Well, let's all right, now that we're through
the crux of the argument, guys. Just because it's called sea level doesn't mean it's level. Now, we're only allowed to go 20 pre-Black Swan. Then this is a burden of proof that's incumbent upon the person that's saying that the dictionary definition of level doesn't, in one particular instance, mean level. It has a different nuanced meaning.
I told John that, not to interrupt you, but that was my response to his rebuttal.
So the only response is, well, unfortunately, we can only go with what everybody knows what level means. Now, I'm happy for you to make the claim that sea level doesn't mean level. It means curving. Yeah. But you're going to have to take that burden of proof up and prove it first for us to carry on. Because as far as I can see, we've got the word level and everybody knows what that means. We can go to dictionary definition and know how it implies horizontal, straight, flat. If you are going to make a claim to say in this particular case sea level doesn't conform with those other syllogism, then you have to prove it. That's would be my response.
And how would you prove that? How would you prove that?
That's up to you to prove, because I'm happy with the term level. Yeah. So you as a ball earther in a particular case. So I would just put it back to you for it's you to now go and demonstrate why sea level doesn't mean level.
With measurement. Because that's the only way you could prove it.
You can do it
because it's an extraordinary claim. No, don't do that, Adam. You'd have to do it with measurement.
Well, that's up to you as the baller. For you, with your exceptional claim that level doesn't mean level in this particular instance, I'm happy to accept that. You can demonstrate it however you like.
You would have to be with measurement. There's no other way.
And I'd happily accept those measurements if valid.
Right. And now we're on to arguing about how much Earth curve we measure, right?
Don't know yet.
So you're going to fallaciously force fallaciousness. Understood.
You've yet to substantiate your extraordinary claim as to why level doesn't mean level in the case of when it's referenced to sea level if you believe you live on a ball. You've got to get that information satisfied before we could go on to any other measurements. You've got to support that extraordinary claim you just made first.
Right, Adam, you're absolutely right. But what was we arguing about prior to the Black Swan? How much Earth curve we measured, right? I mean, now maybe not you guys, because you guys were, ahead of the curve, but everyone else was arguing about this measurement of curvature, were they not?
Or lack thereof.
Fallaciously when they should have stopped that water is level.
Yeah. I thought the purpose of this was to argue it with only what we had back then, not only argue like what we were back then. I thought I was only allowed to argue with pre-Black Swan. Not I had to argue like it was pre-Black Swan.
Right. And that's why I argued the way I argued. I literally went down the same road you went, Adam. So now you're explaining that, well, what we would have had to do is go down some long, arduous adventure about measuring curvature if the Glober didn't accept that the definition level was defined as just level.
Yeah. Yeah. Level is level. Wow.
I mean, it is just like a tree is a tree, but that's not begging the question.
Right. Yeah, but level is horizontal isn't the same statement as level is level.
Oh my God. All right. So, Adam, level is horizontal is the same statement because level and horizontal are synonyms. So I could say level is level or level is horizontal. It means exactly the same thing.
They are synonymous. Yes. And what have you got
And that's the
something
end of the
else?
statement.
Because
No, I'm not adding anything else.
You haven't got anything. You got a synonym.
You see what I'm saying, Adam? Like, I don't get it. I don't get where, why he has a problem with
I'm
how I dealt with
trying to point you to measurement in a claim. I'm trying to point you to measurement in a claim, and you're hand waving it because you have a synonym.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. But
Yeah.
what you're gonna need, what you're gonna need to quote unquote measure curvature is establish that level is level. So when you're agreeing that level is level, you already lost the argument.
Really?
That was my argument.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And that was your argument prior to 2020.
No,
That was your argument prior to
I'm telling you that without the black swan, that's exactly what it is.
Stop. No, stop. Prior to 2020, you would have told somebody that to measure curvature, you're going to have to first establish level. I don't think you did.
No, I just said water is level.
Okay, now let me go back to Adam that kind of understands what I'm talking about. Adam, do you see what I'm saying, though? About, all right.
Adam said the same shit that I said. That's why I'm confused.
It would be, God bless. No, just stop talking at this point. You give me a synonym and I try to take you to measurement. Just stop talking.
Fallaciously, yeah, I didn't have to go there with you. That's the point.
No, not fallaciously. Adam just walked you through it. Adam walked you through it.
No, Adam
and how a claim works.
I didn't have to do here's the thing. I wasn't incorrect for not choosing to go down that road. You're claiming that you have a measurement of curvature, and I'm like, how? When water is level? How? You didn't say, well, here's how. You didn't offer anything.
You're asking
you just said, well, level is not horizontal, which was a fallacious statement.
How question?
You said you responded to the how with level. You said prove level is horizontal, and I said level and horizontal is synonymous.
How? We're talking about what is. Why are you asking how?
Yeah, because it's obviously what's the word?
You.
What's the word? Yeah, I know me
how?
when I'm talking you and you say how, I'm telling you.
Why are you? No, I'm telling you at this point. Why are you asking how to a what is question? Where are you at?
Yeah, I was trying to tell you. I was trying to tell you because the how isn't really how. It's like if I say I'm black, and then you say, well, black is, and use some other synonym with black, and that doesn't mean that I'm black necessarily. And I go, how? I'm not dead ass serious when I'm asking you how. I'm looking at you like a dummy. I don't literally mean how. Walk me through it.
The analogy is probably the most ridiculous analogy I've ever heard in my life.
It's not a ridiculous analogy. What do you mean? Because we're talking about words that are synonymous to describe
black and black
one
are synonymous,
aspect
are they?
or one thing.
Black and black are not synonymous.
I didn't say black
They're
and
the
black.
same
I said
word.
black and whatever is synonymous with it. That's what I just said. Whatever synonym
that's
you
what
can
you just
put
said,
there,
Matt.
it's the same. I did just say that.
Please give me a synonym for black.
Whatever exists, that's what. Unless there is no synonym for black, but you know what I mean when I say
Go
black.
ahead and give me one. You're the one making this stupid analogy. Give me a synonym for black.
He understands what I mean.
Criminal.
Oh, shut up. That's
If I
pouring
say
gas on
I'm
a
black,
fire.
I'm saying somebody can't use words to contradict that I'm describing what I am. And when I say
Yes.
I'm African American or whatever it is, right? It's like, well, how is black in Africa? Well, I mean, technically, you would have to go further in that case because I could be some other kind of.
You would have to go further. Right.
You're an African American?
Analogy is crap. Your analogy's crap, Elijah, and you just realized it. But we're so far away from where I was talking to Adam because you think you have a point.
Outside of your rebuttal, refracted was, I've just got a synergism. I think. I've got a lot more than that. I've got the interdependency of both of those two words to mean what they mean. Okay. Level is what you call a perfectly horizontal line. Level, flat, plane. Level applies to a horizontal surface that lies on a parallel with the horizon. All these things are axioms of each other, except in the case that you're trying to invoke. So, yes, I've got syllogisms, but I've got a lot more as well within the definitions, which means one is intrinsically linked to the other, only contradicted when you try to claim that water level is somehow curved.
Right. Just like you could say it's intrinsically linked that the sky is parallel with the surface of Earth when we're talking about celestial navigation. So the sky is a flat plane over a flat plane kind of deal, that kind of intrinsically linked?
No.
Or are you talking about something else?
No. Within the structure of the words and their meanings, they are intrinsically linked to each other. I'll say it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, now, see, prior to 2020 and the way it's done within the mind hoop jumping craziness of ballers is to separate level from horizontal. So when you look at the curve maths and it has surface level as the horizontal plane, and then they got that tangent that runs off, they switch horizontal to that level and then move level to that curved line in their minds. They do that. Like, I'm not saying they don't, but I'm saying they only say it's linked because you use level to establish a horizontal. That doesn't mean that the thing you use to establish something is that thing in of itself.
I'm waiting for you to support your extraordinary claim. Otherwise, I'll take a win.
Right, with measurement. Right, it would be with measurement, would it not?
Like I said, however you want to demonstrate your extraordinary claim is up to you. At the moment, I feel I've got a win because you're trying to make out that water level is in opposition to its description, that it's not level, it's curved.
Right. Okay, then we move forward. I'd take my height above the water, and I would draw a line from my eye to the horizon, draw another line with a vertical, and then I would see what that angle is and see if it is exactly 90 or greater. If it's greater than 90, then I can use that as the opposite side of a triangle to measure this curvature.
Now, I know this is pre-Black Swan, but even then I would be destroying you that your baseline's not curved.
What? No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
nobody made that argument.
Yeah,
nobody made that argument.
Yeah, I did when I did the Earth curve calculator. Yeah. So I can only speak for myself. So I'm not using the black swan, but I am using my knowledge of building a curve calculator and all the hours of sweat and knowing how you present and represent stuff and how they misrepresent from day one. You know what I mean? So at this point, if you were going to, I'm not going to present the celestial navigation argument, but if you're going to try and draw something to me, I'm going to point out that the surface that you're claiming is curved, you've drawn straight. Because that's what the argument's about, isn't it? So the first point you present that diagram,
Yeah.
well, it's not curved, right? So
yes,
yeah,
right. That's yes, But I'm sorry, I never heard anybody make that argument prior to then.
That wasn't the challenge. The challenge was to argue with knowledge, yeah, prior to the black swan. I've not used celestial navigation. I have used an obvious thing that when we're talking about level, if you then show that level is curved, if you then demonstrate that by showing me that level is level to demonstrate that it's curved, I still think I would have picked up on that if somebody had presented that to me. And just
I kind of also said that.
Simply.
I literally said that also.
Hold a minute.
You were too busy being mad at me.
I have seen out a video of people arguing about how much curvature they see at the horizon. And I've heard you guys argue back with them about how much you should be seeing. So you're saying you wouldn't have fell for that. You already have. Why are you acting like I'm dumb now? I don't get it.
When you say that, you talking about left to right curvature, or what do you mean when you say you see curvature at the horizon?
What do you mean? What do you mean? At this point,
talking about left to right curvature?
I have seen you guys fall to this argument.
Are you talking about left to right curvature?
Get caught up in it, and you're acting like you didn't. I don't get it.
No, I'm asking you right now, are you talking about left to right curvature before I tell you exactly where I used to go with it? Left to right curvature, John? Yes, no? Tell me fast, I gotta go.
What? You want me to give you left to right or right to left? Or which axis are you talking about?
That's what I'm asking you. Like, when you're saying you guys, I've seen you make the argument, exactly what do you mean when you say a curvature at the horizon, we've fallen victim to it, I've seen you. I'm asking you, are you talking about...
Nobody makes an argument. Nobody makes an argument for left to right curvature that I've heard. Except for when you get crazy up like spaceman or whatever. No,
okay, so
nobody's
you
making
wasn't
that
talking about that. Never mind. Okay, I thought that's what you were talking about. Because I'm like, I never argued about left to right curvature because it was Glover's position in the first place that there is no left to right curvature. So, which was always my point on that, but you're not talking about that, so never mind.
Basically, the big thing from the Black Swan is their entire claim is thrown out the window if they respond to it. Like if you say refraction, you don't have geometry. The whole thing was it was a measurement claim in geometry.
Yeah, but back then we were talking more like the sphere needs to have 8 inches per mile squared. Yeah, we didn't know back then of a deviation from straight. But we were talking about it though. The dingleberry.
Yes. Yeah, but the way you were talking about it was to argue about how much you're seeing, not, are we seeing curvature at all?
That's what we were saying back then. There was no noticeable curve. The 8 inches per mile square, no one could measure that.
friggin' echo chamber.
Well, well, I remember. Oh, sorry.
So can you explain again why I was wrong in stopping at saying level, water is level? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
So why did we go through that whole rigmarole?
Because there's a further claim.
Yeah,
And
but how you gonna be mad at me for not wanting to? All you
addressing
had to
the
do.
claim at any point. Oh.
All you had, but look, I was asked how I would talk about the flat Earth. You introduced the claim, and all I was saying was I don't have to deal with that. Why couldn't you go? Okay, fair enough. I want to hear you and deal with that.
Right. Right. In Elijah's world of Earth is flat.
Why are you doing that?
You
now?
don't
Come
have
on, bro.
to deal
No, in Elijah's
with
world, with
You're
level
right.
is level.
Right. You don't
Why are you doing that?
Exactly.
Like it says, Nathan said, if you know, you know. Good for you. But to debate the topic requires further information.
What debate? What?
If I may say,
Whether or
yeah,
not
Elijah, I
level
agree.
doesn't mean
I
level.
agree with John 100%. To
That's
say
what
that the level is the same as saying black is black. You're not defining anything. Level is level
Yeah,
means
but,
nothing.
but if I'm telling you I'm black, you're experiencing what I'm telling you. I don't have to argue that I'm black at that point because it's already evident.
It's
So
like
why would
Meghan
I?
Markle,
Why
isn't
we
it?
take it that way,
Yeah.
man? You cannot define the word for the word itself.
Yeah, no. The word is already defined. He said, okay, I agree with that definition. I said, great. Then that's the end of the conversation for me. But if he didn't agree with the definition,
oh my goodness,
then we would have went further.
No, I said there was a nuance within the definition that you're not accepting. And then I went on to detail what that nuance was. And then I went on to a claim about that nuance in which you just wanted to disregard out of hand and say that I was a big girl, I was a big baby, and I was whiny, and oh, look at my non sequitur. Yeah,
now
that's what you did.
All right, now check you. That's correct. Now let me add context to it. So when his nuance was, matter of fact, you're most assuredly gonna stop me if I don't say it exactly the way you said it. So can you repeat what you said, level, and add the surface of the Earth with that, and say it, and then I'll make my point.
Level is used to establish a horizontal plane of reference.
No, that's not what.
Level is used to establish a horizontal plane of reference. Level conforms to the surface of Earth.
Okay, right. Okay. So, and I said, okay, and because if we're going with the definition of level, it doesn't change anything. When you add the surface of Earth, it doesn't change the fact that level is what I told you.
That's what the nuance of the claim would be addressing, but you didn't want to address it.
No, that
you
me
to
addressing it is saying you saying
say level is level.
No, Eli.
You saying
Eli,
level
Eli,
with
Eli.
Yeah,
he's mugging you off there. Twice he's claimed the word nuance. Don't accept that. It's not a nuance. It's a contradiction.
I said that.
Yeah, I'm just saying now. Only report.
You're saying that. What you said when I was telling him what you're telling me, he was saying fuck off.
I'm saying now.
No.
You're crackling.
I said I said it's not a nuance. You're contradicting yourself if you're departing from the definition of level is level. If you saying level with the Earth is still saying the same thing. If you're telling me it's a nuance which changes the word level, I need you to make that clear because that's a contradiction. I said that.
No,
just keep.
I'm not working outside.
You don't need to go any further.
But I did keep saying it, and that's how the conversation went.
Outside of any.
And then I said, "Can somebody else step into the conversation and point this out?" And no one stepped in to point it out except the other guy. that said it was a disjunctive syllogism or whatever. Okay. And I was like, yeah. And he said, well, I agree with what Eli said. No, he said, I agreed with exactly what the other guy said. And I'm like, that's funny because the other guy just said, I was right. And you're telling him that what he said was right and what he said was what I said. So then I asked you, how the fuck are you telling me that I'm wrong? That means you're just contradicting yourself, is what I said.
No, it does not mean that.
And he
It means if you don't know how to connect level to horizontal, other than to just say, look at a dictionary definition, if you don't know how to axiomatically link those, then you shouldn't be arguing it.
What's your response to that,
So
John?
level, yeah, is either commensurate with the horizon or parallel to it.
Right. So we use the water level to establish a horizontal plane of reference.
Yep. Horizontal plane of reference. No. I just want to add to that statement that is either.
See how he's saying so? He's agreeing with you. But before,
Eli.
he was acting incredulous, but using the same word. He was acting incredulous. Now he's asking in an agreeable way, when before, the same exact words, he was acting incredulous.
Did I say level?
John. Just he's trying to stitch me up, okay, which is why he's given a shortened definition, which is why I wanted to elongate it. Give me the definition again, John, that you want to proceed with.
Water level is used to establish a horizontal plane of reference.
Yeah, and that horizontal plane of reference that you establish with the water level will be parallel to the surface.
Oh, you son bitch. Yeah. See, he's got me axiomatically linked.
But
now.
you told me it was begging the question, you son of a bitch. I said the same thing.
Hello. Has anybody told Eli his mic's a train wreck? Does he know?
It's only since he started shouting so much.
He just got it like that now.
Your mic's a train wreck.
I had it this way most of the time.
That's much
better. That's better.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just. Anyway, go ahead. I said the same. This is crazy. No. I'm gonna clip this video out, and I'm gonna.
You did not
agreeing with them and disagreeing with me for saying the same
back.
thing. I will. I just told you I was going to do it.
Listen back to it.
I just told you I was going to do that. You don't have to tell me to do it. I just told you I was going to do it.
Right. All right. I can use a level to establish a horizontal plane of reference, right? I can use a compass to create a circle. That does not mean my compass is a circle. Until I axiomatically link those, it remains ambiguous.
The things you're agreeing with everyone else for saying, I did say, but you were too busy being, what's the word, oppositional to me. I said the same things that they were saying, but it was through you yelling.
Yeah, sure did.
Friggin' echo chamber.
Absolutely.
That was quite good.
How you doing, John? I'm sorry for missing ball busters, by the way. I didn't think that fucking in processing. Sorry for cussing. In processing would be such a pain in the butt.
That's all right. We got another one Saturday. You know, make that one.
Thank God it's 2024.
Thanks for telling us.
That was good fun. Yeah, but that was good fun. That was fighting with one arm behind your back. So it's still possible.
No, you took the parallel planes of the horizon. I still think you took a priori knowledge of what we know now and applied it to the past.
Look, it's not Men in Black. I couldn't get a mind wipe, could I? So there might be a little bit of restructuring it, but I think I did avoid the easy winning points. So that was just about holding you to your definition, not allowing you to proceed past the nonsensical definition, which is what you wanted to do. Your only mission there was to move forward with the sea level could mean, and only could mean curved. Couldn't allow that.
Right. Well,
BS.
that's what flat earthers did when they argued about a curve calculator and pictures. That's exactly what they were doing. That was my
100%.
point. And then the argument that level is just begging the question at that point because it doesn't make sense. What are you talking about?
I didn't let you.
Talking about echo chambers, man.
Yeah, it's like an echo chamber in here. Very distorted, angry, overloaded mic type of echo chamber.
And I'm a big girl. I know that now. Thank you, Elijah.
Are you a skinny girl?
No, obviously not.
I'm sorry, brother. It is what it is. I love you anyways, and I don't think you're stupid.
Yeah,
This
obviously.
is sickening.
I apologize.
Yeah, we don't need to hear this. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams. Hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.